Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan, and we are joined by one of my favorite guests that we have. This man never disappoints with his choice on wardrobe. It is our friend, Big Tall Kenny.
Heyo.
How you doing, Kenny?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
Good,
Pretty
man.
good, pretty
Thanks
good.
for the time. We appreciate it.
I enjoy spending Christmas Eve with you guys.
A lot of people don't know that we spend all of our Christmas Eves together.
Yeah,
And we've been doing that for how long now, Kenny?
Yeah.
I'd say since you guys left the Real Radio.
Yeah.
It's been an annual tradition.
Yeah, we do it. This is the 10th year, coming up on the 10th year.
We sit around, we listen to the Christmas Carol.
Yeah, whatever happened to the Christmas Carol on Real Radio? That thing. You know what?
Yeah.
Somebody should
I
pull,
wish they would play that
I wish
again.
they'd pull that out of the archives, dust it off, and remaster it even. Remaster from the vaults.
Oh.
And then put it on the air. Somebody should do that. Anyway, welcome to the show, everybody.
Look how many people used to work here.
Before robots.
So, Kenny, what have you been up to?
Yeah, so I actually got back from Fort Lauderdale, and I worked the Sports Illustrated Awards, which is their version of the ESPYs. So I wanted to just do a roll call of what celebrities were cool and what celebrities were a-holes.
That's
awesome.
This is how stupid I am. I assume that Sports Illustrated and the ESPN ESPYs are exactly the same thing. You know what's funny is that there was a time when Sports Illustrated would have been the big dog, but ESPN is definitely bigger than Sports Illustrated.
Yeah, is like how well is Sports Illustrated doing? Like, what is it? Just all web content now?
Well, it's SI now, right? Nobody calls it Sports
They
Illustrated.
brand themselves as SI, yeah. But, I mean, it's still a big deal because the reason that it was there, they were doing the Sports Person of the Year, which was given to Tom Brady. So Old Man Brady got yet another award.
Now, what is Sports Person of the Year? Because to me, I'm not saying he's not awesome. He is. He's the best at football. But I think we can do a little better than for Sports Person, right?
Yeah, in years past, it's been given to people who aren't just the best at the sport, but they do stuff outside of it. Like Colin Kaepernick got it one year. Serena Williams has it. Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa in their steroid years when they saved baseball got it.
Yes.
I guess.
Using it.
I mean, I guess you have to give it to Brady because if he hasn't won it, like now's the time
Right.
for it.
Like,
Because
why are you not giving it
Oh,
to
he's
him?
already won it.
no.
If he's already won it, you gotta give it to somebody else.
Yeah. Like he's won enough awards.
Yeah.
Like he could win the Super Bowl again. Like he
He's
won enough.
fine.
He didn't even give a damn about this, right? Like there's no way this even
I don't think he gives a damn about Super Bowls anymore. I think he just likes winning. I think he wants to win every. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm talking
Yeah,
about the idea of winning is bigger than the Super Bowl. You see what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
to me,
yeah.
yes, the Super Bowl is all part of the equation, but he just wants to dominate in every. So I guess based on my own logic, you'd have to give it to him because he wants to win it all.
So what do you have to do there, Kenny? Like, and what's the access you even get to all the celebrities?
So I was actually the stage manager. So I was actually the person backstage that was cueing them and getting them on stage.
We assumed that
Tom
you
Brady
had
himself
no
is-
workable reason for being there. Like, we
Yeah,
assumed that you
I
were
thought
so
you were-
stupid that you would just be there look at all these celebrities. I ain't never been to one of these before. Like, that's what we assumed.
Yeah. And then you were getting like sandwiches.
Yeah.
No, I will admit it's pretty dope. Like, yeah, I know they're celebrities; they're just human beings, but like they're normally the ones in charge, and it was really cool yelling at them and telling them, "No, you need to be here. You need to go on stage doing this. This is what you're going to be doing. This is what you're going to be saying." So
Dope
it was kinda
means
like
it's cool,
a mini
Tom.
power trip.
Dope means it's cool.
Do you have to like make them pay attention? I imagine they're just on their phones, right? Like every celebrity, especially the athletes, they're just like looking at their iPhone the entire time, and then you have to be like, "Hey, go!
Get out there!
Yeah,
Tebow Samuel, wake up!"
Or are they not allowed
Yeah.
to have their phone with them?
No, they're allowed to do whatever they want, honestly, backstage. I'd say it's about 50%. 50% of them are on their phones. The other 50%, because there's a whole bunch of other celebrities there, they're networking and talking to them. So, I'll go through the rundown. Tom Brady himself was cool to work with. And it's really, you can see the difference between when he was in New England with Belichick. You could see how Belichick was like controlling him and he was so like uptight. Now that he's on Tampa, he is the most relaxed, cool, like easygoing person in the world.
He's Florida Tom.
Yeah, he's Florida Tom. You can see it.
I will say
even
that
last
Florida
week,
Tom.
he's running the ball, right?
Okay.
Even last week, he's doing things. I'm like,
and
all
he's
right,
making jokes.
You're feeling yourself. Yeah, he did
Listen.
the whole video montage for Tony Romo. I'm like, this guy's feeling himself.
Okay, as a Miami Dolphins fan my entire life, I've hated Tom Brady, right? Like
You're supposed to.
He beats us every year, except for the second time we play him in November for
Yeah,
whatever
that's a
reason.
fitty on
But
that.
that's just pure luck anomaly. Anyway, so I've always hated Tom Brady in New England. Not hated him, sports hate. I don't give a damn. It's just that
sports
he
hate's not real. I hated him when he beat the Falcons, but I like the
Yeah.
fact that he's really good.
He don't even care about New England. You know what I'm saying? He just cares about winning. And what team he's on. Anyway,
Only winning.
And then when he went, he came down to the Bucks. It has been like, hey, Florida Tom's awesome. Like everybody, I don't really know anybody that hates Tom Brady anymore, right?
No.
Like my son's like Tom Brady. Like every other sports fan.
If you don't hate him, you're at least in Florida. You're like, I'm okay with him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
what's the hate?
He's all right.
I mean, you
might not be ever able to get past the idea of him decimating your team, right? There are guys like our buddy Cabin, Mattis Cabin.
Yeah.
Like, are you going to ever change how he feels about the Steelers? No, you're never. Like, it is cast in iron. It is cast in steel. So there are certain guys that no matter what, they're always going to be like, F that guy. But I think now that he's in Florida, people are like, okay, he's okay.
And he seems cool.
He does seem cool.
He's a football nerd, so he's not. He's not aggressive in any way, really.
He's fallen into getting the standard Mike's Weatherpage haircut that everybody gets. A Florida man haircut.
It seems like he can take a joke and he's not uptight, right?
Yeah, he makes his own jokes about his speed. I saw that. I thought that was really funny.
He threw the GD Lombardi trophy from one boat to another.
Yeah.
Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, he's drinking avocado, tequila. And
You think a guy with that much dedication to his career and his legacy and everything, but then also to not take it so seriously,
why does he still wear the mock turtleneck sweaters in Florida though? Is that just his look?
I think he's a nerd. I think that's
look?
it.
Have you noticed that, Kenny? He still wears the weirdo, poet sweaters. You see a poet sitting there with a.
I think there's a little bit of his wife that instills some fashion on him because she is a supermodel. So I think he was just like, okay, my wife told me to wear this.
Is he kind of basic in the fact that he thinks, oh, European, I got to put a turtleneck sweater on. That's European. Is it like, no?
Well, I think Kenny's right. His wife probably just gives him there's some
weird.
designer.
You live in Florida now. You got a tank top on. You have a t-shirt.
They're also insanely rich.
Yeah, but you could you could get the most expensive tank top, right? You could get a badass digital tank top.
So, did you get any interaction with old Brady?
Yeah, I was able to talk to him. It was mostly business, just because again, I'm there working and I have to deal with a bunch of other celebrities at the same time. But we had it where there was an LED screen that was in the middle of the stage and it rose up with some smoke and pomp and circumstance. And when I told Tom that that's how he's going to be introduced, his eyes lit up. He was such a child in awe. He goes, "Oh, I'm going to be like a rock star on stage, aren't I?" He was just so excited.
I wish I'd worn one of my turtlenecks. Wish I'd worn one of my turtlenecks.
Yeah.
I didn't know it's going to be rock star come out of the floor. Oh, man.
He has also played football his entire life. A little bit.
No matter what, it's a little bit. Yeah. No matter what.
It's just, you're playing.
Just some knocks.
Our game.
Just some falling down.
Yeah. Also, it's that's all you've ever really paid attention to and dedicated your life
to. If you fall down professionally for 30 years, you're impressed by the smoke machine.
Yeah. Your buddies with Gronk.
So Gronk was there too, and he was introducing him. And Gronk is exactly how you expected Gronk to be. He's just such a party bro, super professional, gets the job done. He will listen and pay attention, but he's going to do it his way. So he's going to just totally Gronk it up.
Gronk it up. Hey, we need you to go out there and really Gronk it up.
Kenny never.
I know what that means. Headbutt.
Never say Gronk it up again. But also, it seemed these guys.
Gronk it up. I'll take it.
They're not actors. It's they are just
they're real people that play sports.
Yeah, they're good at sports. It's so people are like, I'm surprised he is what I see. People are like, that's all he's got. He's not doing anything.
Hold on, I can't see through the smoke. Oh, he has a turtleneck on.
So I will admit, so when you were talking about they were backstage, they weren't on their phones. Dan Marino was actually backstage.
What?
Oh.
He's normally by the cars.
Yeah.
I'll see you by the cars. What was all those commercials Dan Marino did?
Yeah, 1999 joke.
Yeah, but what was the commercial?
It was a CarMax? What was it?
It was something. He's like, I'll see you by the cars. I'm Dan Marino.
Oh,
because I think they had cardboard cutouts of him all over the
dealership.
The dealership.
Talk about.
But no, he was there.
Yeah,
I was gonna say. So, have you guys seen the video? It's on YouTube on when he was hosting Inside the NFL, and he's trying to read from the teleprompter, and he messes up, and he gets so mad he like punches the desk, and everyone gets like afraid of him. Dan, you should look it up. I don't think there's cursing on it, but if you pull it up, it's a hilarious video. You see like Dan Marino just lose his S because he misread the prompter.
I heard a podcast where
let me see if I can find that.
And there was like an older QB in the class of the Marinos and that generation of quarterbacks or whatever. And they talked about how like Dan Marino and a lot of that generation of QBs were straight up D heads to everybody on their team. Like they were in charge basically. Like they also could do no wrong because there was no social media, so like their behavior wasn't under
because of
a microscope, so they just acted like D heads and
Broncos because of.
Sorry about that, buddy.
And of course like all the stuff that came out with Dan Marino and like the indiscretions with reporters and did he get one pregnant?
Yes, I thought he did. I have heard that too. Let me see if I can pull this up so everybody can enjoy. I love a good you got somebody pregnant but you continue with your life. I like that.
Did he get a divorce because of that, or was he already?
I don't know. Here, I can't Kenny, we're just gonna have to go with the audio because for some reason video's not cooperating. Right. But here.
Of Brian Greasy. He's the #1 rated quarterback, and there's a good reason why.
I talked to my man Terrell Buckley last week in Miami. He was on a bye week, by the way, playing golf. He told me that defense is
Yeah, and everyone else freaked out about it.
#1 rated quarterback, and there's a good reason why.
I talked to my man Terrell Buckley last week in Miami. He was on a bye week, by the way, playing golf. He told me that defense is
The anger. Sheesh, hey, don't kill me. I'm an old man.
All right, so that's a setup for this. So Dan Marino wanted to talk to the script writer because, obviously his presentation, he was introducing like the male and female athletes of the year who were Olympians. And there was some stuff he wanted to rewrite. And the script writer's like, yeah, not a problem at all. And I was there just as the stage manager to make sure I knew what was going on. He made some edits. For some reason, the edits didn't make it into the teleprompter properly. So he's on stage and he's reading it, and then he cracks a joke. He goes, this isn't what we rehearsed on the prompter. Ha, ha, ha. So they roll a video package before he announces the winner. During the video, he runs backstage and just starts cursing me out. Just like, this isn't what we effing practice. I effing asked you to change the effing script. This is total BS. Like, he was just losing
Dan Marino. Yeah. He's a D-head. Like, that's...
And then he runs back on stage and he's just like, oh, okay, and our first nominee is, Suni Lee.
I wish he'd punch you like that, Dan. Kang, he's mad punch you.
Oh, it'd be awesome, but I would respect you a lot more, Kenny, if Dan Marino punched you in the face.
I would too. This is going to sound crazy, but Dan Marino has that type of face where I feel like if I squint my eyes, like almost close my eyes, but not really fully, and barely open them a little bit, like I would see his face standing over me, beating me to death. Like he has the type of look.
Yeah.
Like if you pushed him to the point, like he would beat you to death, and then he would do that thing where he'd black out, and he'd be, I didn't know I did it. I do this thing. He's like of Mice and Men. He's like a Lenny he's like a little bit.
He's
dumb.
a little Mel Gibson-y.
Yeah.
Right? And
a little dumb strong.
Because
he's got that.
Well, again, played football his entire life.
But he's smooth. He's got the curly mop top, right? He never had the beard. He was never rough around the edges. He's like a smooth anger man.
Was famous before social media, so you can get away with anything. Like no one would call you on your BS. Like you can't be a D-head.
Like this guy definitely has slapped sunglasses off of somebody and driven away, right? Like that's a thing in the 80s.
And you can get away with it because there was no one that could like put it on social or no one had video.
We need to get back to a time where you are allowed to slap sunglasses off of somebody and then drive away in your LeBaron.
That's
what he-
even
like-
if someone caught it on an old VHS recorder, everyone in the 80s would be like, yeah, it serves him right.
Yeah,
Dan
yeah.
Marino's the king of Miami. He can do
Tiny
whatever he
shorts,
wants.
white on white LeBaron, slaps your Oakleys off your head and then drives away.
I will always remember Dan Marino in tiny white Dukes throwing stuff at Scabs buses during the NFL strike. When he's got a quarter shirt on with tiny white
He's got
Dukes,
his belly out.
and he's screaming the F word for gays at Scabs coming in.
Why don't we dress like that? Why don't we wear tiny shorts and just a crop? What happened to the crop top?
It died in the 80s.
And it's not even a crop top. The top shirt has holes all in it. It's mesh.
Yeah. I think
And it
that
has
was
like
the
a
late
it has like a
70s.
number on it, right? Like
So
Well,
Kenny,
and then linebackers would get it cut off like at their belly button. So you'd see the lower half of their stomach as they're tackling someone.
yes.
The Brian Bosworth.
so
yes.
two things about the old Dolphins. One is the most famous person I've ever met to me in my life in person was Don Shula in the Real Radio break room when he came
you
in
were
to
like
plug.
shaking.
Yeah, and I couldn't believe it was. When he walked in, I was like, "Oh my God,
Look
Don!"
how old you are.
My first instinct was to punch him as hard as I can in the face because
You'd kill him.
No,
He turned to dust like a moth. He looked like a human moth.
I think I talked about it at the time, but I was like, "Oh my God!" I had this instinct to punch him. I was like, because it was unbelievable to me that Don Shula was
It
standing
didn't seem real.
in that hellhole.
He also looked like Gary Oldman from like Bram Stoker's Dracula. Like he was very old.
Yeah, he was on his last legs.
Yeah,
back then,
it was
but-
right before. I think it was the day before he died. We met him,
No,
right?
no,
Like, it was like hours.
It was
before.
years. But anyway, so and then with Dan Marino, Kenny, you had to have been like, oh my God, Dan Marino's yelling at me. I'm like, was it surreal experience?
Yeah, especially because I'm dealing with a bunch of other celebrities backstage, and then they all see that Dan Marino's yelling at me, and then they're doing that thing where everyone's just like, all right, not gonna comment, not gonna pay attention, just gonna turn away and see this weirdo 6'4" dude who's not an athlete get yelled at by one of the greatest of all time.
You should have asked him about his Super Bowl ring. He loves that, I bet. If you were to say, I wonder what would I think Dan Marino also looks like the type of guy. And again, I'm just going basically on just what I like the look, right? So this is I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But he looks like I think I could get him to punch me. Like he has the face.
Oh, yeah.
And the attitude of somebody that I think I could push you too far and get you to slap me around a little bit.
I'm surprised in this day and age that Dan Marino's still yelling at like subordinates and like people because I would feel like he would be videotaped too much and like that would be out on social
When
media.
was he yelling at you, Kenny?
Well, it was during when video package was playing to introduce an athlete. So he poked his head backstage and started yelling at me and then got back on stage. So when the lights went up, he was back smiling, reading the prompter, and everything was good to go after that.
So who else did you see there? That's pretty cool so far. Now, are you instructed to never take pictures with any of these people? Like that's unprofessional, right?
So it's not explicit, but I pretty much do the whole, hey, you shouldn't. And especially even if you do, you shouldn't post them because it's more so the unprofessional thing has nothing to do with like legalities or anything like that. It's just one of those, don't take advantage of your access.
Yeah. No, 100%. I'm surprised you're not instructed to like.
Normally they do.
Yeah.
Like they.
Well, I think when you're at the level, because let me say this, I was really the only stage manager. So if there was maybe like a team of 5 or 6 that was doing this, they probably would have to, but they know me. So
and
they're
you're
just
expected.
Like, all right,
like you're known.
You
They got you because
you're a pro.
Yeah, you're a pro. Yeah. So they know they know you know the rules.
So here's someone that you completely expect this story is Logan Paul was there introducing an award. And when I met him backstage, high as hell, like off the chain high to where I don't even know how he even physically got there.
I like off the chain high. I think you use that incorrectly. Off the chain high.
That means really
Probably.
high, Daniel.
Yeah, but off the chain means it's like good job. You didn't say dope high, which I'm glad.
I meant to say off the charts high.
Yeah, I thought that's maybe where you were going.
I'm surprised about that because like Logan Paul didn't get to where he got by being like lazy and unprofessional.
He's a
like,
hustler.
So like he's a hustler.
No, but he's a party dude.
True, but you think like, hey,
I would take it seriously. I get high after my thing.
Or is that part of the thing? Like, did he want to get some sort of media for being super high on at the awards?
Well, I don't know. So he's introducing, breakthrough athlete of the year, but the person who wins isn't there. So I told him, hey, after you introduce the winner, they do the whole envelope thing. So he reads the envelope and then says, hey, he couldn't be here. Thank you so very much. So he walks on stage, and then I think the only thing he remembered was that he wasn't going to be here. So after he announces the winner, he goes, well, he's not here, but let's take a look at a video that he sent. There was no video. So he literally is like tossing to a screen. So it was just awkward silence.
So he went with what he knows. He went with what he's seen.
Yeah, he just completely guessed. He goes, yeah, let's take a look at a video. And we're all like,
so he assumed, because he didn't listen to direction. So basically, when he half listened to you, when you said he's not here, he just said, oh, yeah, he's not here. They want me to toss it to a video package.
Yeah. So then he just stood on stage awkwardly for like 10 seconds before, and then he did that thing where he just looks around and then just walks off stage. He did the Ashley Simpson where he's just like, well, I'm out of here.
Well, she actually did a little bit of a hoedown.
Like
a tiny
an Irish jig.
Yeah, an Irish jig. Thank you, Tom.
I don't know why I expect more from people, and maybe I'm just like projecting what I would do. Like, no matter how famous I could ever get, right? If I'm in front of an audience and someone's asking me to do something,
you have a task, yeah.
I'm going to pay attention and
do my best
and do what is it, like. I'm not gonna take it so nonchalant. Like, I'm just gonna guess there's a video, probably be, I'll make sure, like, hey, what is it? This say this, and then kick it to where? Okay, got it. And then I'll just do that.
That's our problem because we care too much.
But that was a majority of people though. Like, I was working with Chad Johnson or Ocho Cinco, Ray Lewis. Like a bunch of other people, and they were doing that. They were sitting there and they were like, hey, do you mind if I take a look at the script so I can refresh myself? So I'm sitting there and talking about it. 90% of the people were completely cool to work with and were paying attention and professional. It was just you get your, Logan Pauls and your Dan Marinos that caused my life absolute hell.
I like how the two...
the Logan one I give a pass because he was high. The Dan Marino one is inexcusable. I mean,
he just likes to yell at people. He spent his whole career, if someone messes up around him, he yells.
Pipe down, Dan. Like pipe down.
So who was the biggest D-head? Was it Dan Marino?
Actually, Billie Jean King. She's a crotchety old lady. She was just like and it's one of those. So we try to get the celebrities backstage. Like,
Billie Jean King looks like an old owl.
But we try to get them like well ahead of time, so that way we make sure that we're not scrambling or whatever. But I guess with her, she felt like we were wasting her time, so she's just sitting backstage.
Billie Jean
I'm dealing
King
with other celebrities, and then she's like, "No one's told me what to do. Why am I sitting back here?
I'm an old owl, and my time is valuable."
So I just get yelled at by celebrities. But someone who is really cool, and the main person I want to talk about, because I know you're going to have many questions, is the host of the event. And he was super professional, super amazing, and a pleasure to work with.
Oh, my God.
DJ Khaled.
DJ Khaled? Really? Oh, my God. I thought you were going to say it was the... I had another person that for whatever reason, DJ Khaled was not the person that I thought, for some reason, I thought you were going to say Dave Grohl or something, but DJ Khaled. Okay, I do have a lot of questions because we still can't figure out why he's famous. That's you, right, Tom? You're
Yeah.
We've determined, let me say this. I think everything he does is intentional because after working with him, he got nervous about the script. He wanted to make sure he did well. And he's like, hey, if I'm on my phone and you need me here, like literally take the phone out of my hands and yell at me to go to this spot. So he was totally cool about it. So when he does that guitar video, it's 100% intentional. Like,
okay.
Just now that I've gotten to know him a bit, I know that these wacky things he does are 1,000% on purpose.
So we may not understand them, but they are coming from him as a genuine, his own, origin.
He is manipulating the media for his benefit, which is smart. Which is what Kardashians did, and and plus he is. I'm guessing, I don't know this, but a good producer. Obviously, a lot of really talented people want to work with him. So by you telling me that, then he's just a smart dude that knows that this DJ Khaled character is people enjoy the character of who DJ Khaled is.
It doesn't have to be that deep, right?
And
he can just do silly stuff and still produce great music.
It's like, I mean, honestly, I don't know, I've only had a small interaction with him, but it's the Flavor Flav thing. I talked to Flavor Flav on the phone back in the radio days. And the damn guy was 100%. Did not have any of the shtick.
It was a switch.
And then he's like, "Hey, I'm here for the interview." I think he said his real name, or is he?
You were laughing to me because you're like, dude, this does not sound like Flavor Flav. Like
I thought it was a prank.
Yeah, you're cracking up because you're like, this guy's got all. He's like, I'm ready to go when you are. Yeah, can you hear me? Okay.
And then the host puts him on the air and he's screaming, "It's
boy!"
Yeah. And I'm like, oh. I get it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, and it makes sense. Like, people usually don't get to that level and are famous for that long if they're really the character they portray. It's like behind the scenes, they know what's going on.
Yeah,
you know?
And there were elements of that with him. I think he had some substance abuse problems, but that doesn't mean he's not a pro.
Yeah,
just means he had something that was. But I think he's clean now, so I would expect that guy to just be kind of normal now.
So
during the actual event, I'm on Snapchat, and funny enough, talking with Sam, who's not physically there, but she was basically saying it's like, talk to him about not going down on his wife.
Oh, yeah. Sam wants you to get fired instantly. I like that. Yeah.
Now, that tells me that whole thing, too, was more of a bit, shtick
just
thing.
put that in the article and let it roll, right?
Yeah.
People talk about you no matter what.
Yeah, say that. I mean, because how can people will get upset, but how can they get that upset? That's your own preference and your own business.
And what he and her, if they're married and happy, it doesn't matter. It's none of your business.
So it is, because it'll get a lot of, women upset.
You don't want to talk about it. It's so taboo that you're not going to just bring that up.
Anyway, so okay,
I don't do that either.
That makes
by the
sense.
Way, so I agree with it. It's disgusting.
Yeah. I think all of us, there's a little part of us that are like, this guy is. You know what? He's got the balls to say it.
Exactly.
This guy's a real man
that speaks from the heart.
A little bit of all of us.
I mean, everybody knows what it's like to wish what it would be like to not wipe your butt, right?
I wish I could do that.
I wish I could not wipe my butt.
I mean, what do you say?
Comparing that to wiping my butt is harsh. Same area.
So basically a pro, and what you believe, like the whole DJ Khaled that we see, is a lot of shtick.
Yeah, so I will admit, backstage, he still talks like how you hear him on interviews and stuff.
Well,
this script is the best.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying he's Daniel Day-Lewis playing the Bill the Butcher. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's just an exaggerated version of himself. I mean, radio personalities do this all the time. Basically,
we do it.
Reality show people do it all the time, where it's like they're just taking elements that they already have, exaggerating them, and making them into a character that's based on their own life, but obviously exaggerated and kind of cartoony, bigger than life. Then they're probably just a smart, normal businessman that has an element of this, but he just exaggerates it.
Yeah. How was he? Like, he was a good host. He did well.
Oh yeah, he was great. I mean, he was partnered with someone from a host from ESPN, so they always did the thing where the heavy lifting is what they called it. The ESPN host did. So whenever you had to do the sponsorship and the talking points, the ESPN host is the one doing that. DJ Khaled was there for the color commentary and the hype and the introducing of people.
Here's an easy tell that what Kenny's saying and what our theory now is about DJ Khaled is the truth. There's a reason why they hired him to host. Because
you don't hire a pain in the ass to host. No, that's a good point, Tom.
And the hosting job is super hard and
important.
If you're not taking it seriously and professionally, no way you're able to even get through it. Even if you're just a color commentary. I mean, the straight guy is really hard. But it's like, listen to.
But the ESPN guy, he knows what he's doing. He's done it 1,000 times. But Kenny, they would royally ruin your day if they hired a pain in the ass for the DJ Khaled role. Correct?
Oh yeah, and I've dealt with that in the past too, where I've just been told it's like, hey, so and so is a diva. Get ready to have to tail them like they're a lost puppy because they just wander around all the time. So going into this, I had absolutely no idea what it was to work with him. But then after just one rehearsal, like an hour before the show, I'm like, oh, okay, this is going to be an easy gig.
Yeah. I mean,
cool.
you can't hire a host that's not going to take it super seriously and know his stuff because the show couldn't happen. Like, it would fall apart. It would be embarrassing for everybody. Yeah.
Hosting is a very unique and difficult job.
Man, it's super underappreciated too. Like, people see who's Kenan Thompson just hosted some awards. It was the Golden Globes or something like that. But it's like, that is hard to do. Like, all these big shows.
I hated it. When you and I did it, I hated it.
Orlando City Awards. I mean, that wasn't even televised. It was a small thing, and it's hard, man.
I hated it.
It's a lot of pressure. Things are changing all the time, and some stage managers are screaming, "Get up there now!"
It's the hardest thing we ever did. I'm so glad I don't have to do that anymore.
For the people in the audience that barely care, really, they're just like sitting there. Most of them are like, it's like hard to keep their attention. So everything about the entire gig is difficult.
Well, I am glad that I have the skill set. I will say that I'm glad that I have the pressure to know what that feels like, but I don't necessarily want to do it again.
Well, did you guys do it when you were hosting? You had what they call them IFBs, but basically the in-ear pieces where a producer would talk to you. That, I think, is the hardest skill about hosting, because you have to read a script or even improv while some other conversation is going on in your ear, and you have to listen to it and follow their instructions while still outwardly saying what you need to say, because the audience has no idea that you're being talked to. So you have to make it come across like, oh yeah, this is just what I was supposed to say.
QVC people do that. They're really good at it.
That's a talent that is also underappreciated, because
we're not good at it.
I mean, if you're talking and having a conversation, presenting, you got the nerves of that, and then someone telling you some new information in your head, and you having to not stop, like, wait. Like, you can't just hold your ear like an FBI agent and be like, someone's talking to me, hold on. Wait.
Well, the reason you and I are okay with it, though, is that because we are thinking about what we want to say while we're listening to what you are saying. So there is a form of that going on in here.
Yeah.
So we're better than most, I think, out of the box, but I don't like doing any type of hosting anymore. It's too hard.
So back to Billie Jean King. I kind of want to give her a pass, because I listened to her, I think it was on NPR or something, where she may have come out with a new book recently. And she was talking about like in the 70s and stuff, and playing tennis, and how sexist it was. And like, there was the whole thing where, remember, she played
what was it, Bobby Riggs?
Yeah, like a male tennis star, and she ended up beating, like,
and
he beat her.
Like, doing it one-handed, smoking a cigarette or something. Like,
well, that was
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, it's like,
and it was just like the stuff that people were saying about her, and like
she's out there, and I'm like, who is that? Is that Billie Jean King or Rivers Cuomo? I don't know.
Even in like the interviews, like, she'd do a serious interview with another female journalist, and she'd ask about like, why don't you wear makeup? Or like,
exactly.
Like, just the most so it kind of hardened her into an old bitch, right? Like, how do you not turn into an old bitch after, like, you had a rough go at it about being
people were not cool to you about being who you are authentically,
being a female tennis star, and she's a lesbian, right?
Yeah. Her wife was backstage with her, and I think it's a product of the era too, because with her. I mean, she went through the gauntlet.
It's Me Too. It's not That Too. Hashtag That Too.
I'm just saying, to be a female sports star and also be gay in a world of intolerant, sexist. It's like, that'll turn into old bitch. Like, so she gets a pass. Dan Marino, screw that guy.
No pass for Dan Marino. Absolutely,
yeah. You're just a D head.
Very few people have probably ever really authentically been mean to Dan Marino, right? Think about it. Like, not like Billie Jean King.
Weird. Because Dan Marino, like, he came off as super nice when we were talking about the script and stuff. Like, he was very cordial. I'm thinking like, oh, he's going to have some fun. He's a professional. And then he just lost. And then he was grumpy afterwards. When he walked off stage, he refused to talk to me, just immediately left to go to his seat.
You blew it.
He just had grumpy face.
You changed the script, and he didn't tell old Dapper Dan.
He just wants things, like, he turns into, Game Day Marino, where he's got a big old ankle cast on his both feet.
Robo Marino.
Yeah. His big Achilles tendon cast on his foot, and then he's mad if anything goes wrong, and he'll yell at your face.
It is pretty funny to see other celebrities like fanboy over other celebrities. Like, when Tom Brady was there, him and Dan Marino were like chit-chatting and taking photos with each other, like DJ Khaled getting selfies with all the other celebrities.
It was really cool Billie Jean King and DJ Khaled. It's like DJ Khaled can eat no P, Billie Jean King can eat no D. It's like You put them together, it's like ultimate mismatch. or new Jack Sprat.
Yeah.
Is that the new fairy tale
Yeah.
you tell Maisie?
Yeah, DJ Khaled can eat no P.
Dude,
Billie Jean King can eat no D.
But you're right. If you're backstage at this award, you got Dan Marino and Tom Brady standing there. Like, imagine
God.
getting a picture. DJ Khaled's there,
Oh,
like Billie
God.
Jean King, and like Ocho Cinco. What?
They're all yelling,
Gronk.
"We the best." Gronk is back there gronking it up.
Yeah. Are they allowed to drink? Do they have like a bar back there? Or they?
Oh yeah, the green room had a full bar for him. So now again, a lot of them were professionals, so none of them were drunk. Chad Johnson did have a drink on hand, and I had to actually take it away from him because he wanted to go on stage with the cocktail.
My drink, baby.
I like Ocho Cinco.
I do too.
He never got into as much media as I wanted him to, but maybe he's still trying to work his way in. But he's a character.
Let me say this: he's a good commentator and personality, but he even admits it. He struggles to read from a teleprompter, and it's not like it's not a can't read scenario like Frank Gore or anything. But it's just one of those where he's just not comfortable talking on the teleprompter, and I think that limits a lot of his opportunities.
Frank Gore can read.
Yeah. Well, listen, I wouldn't be comfortable reading off the teleprompter either.
That's hard.
I get nervous, and then
We've done it before and ruined it. We screwed it all up.
Yeah, but just let him go off the cuff. Just tell him the beats of it. He'll be fine.
Let him gronk it up.
Yeah. So did any other, besides from old what's-his-face throwing it to a video that's not there, any other things that went wrong with the actual production?
I mean, nothing that was like catastrophic or anything. Like one of the segments was sponsored by an arcade company. Basically, they're redoing all the 90s arcade games like Mortal Kombat and NBA Jam, and they're releasing at-home consoles. So DJ Khaled and Chad Ochocinco actually played NBA Jam on stage. But the problem is they started playing backstage. So by the time they got on stage, it was like that quarter break where it's like 15 seconds where you have to, select your player and look at the stats. So the first 15 seconds of that was just awkward, like not action while they're just sitting there waiting for the timer to go down.
Yeah.
You blew it. You blew it. Dumb old men playing video games.
I want.
Well, I didn't want to yell at them, telling them not to play video games. Who am I to say hey, don't have fun?
I'm curious, how
You're a good stage manager, Kenny.
Did you notice and this is just out of curiosity, did you see Tom Brady being extra cautious to not have other people accidentally give him COVID because he's still playing? He can't afford. If you get, if he's vaccinated, but you test positive, you could be out for, 4 days, or you miss a game. I mean, that's a huge.
Oh, barely anyone had a mask on. I was the only one really back there with my mask on, and that's just for my own comfort. But all the celebrities, none of them had masks.
Yeah, I mean, any of the celebrities that are not playing currently anymore is fine.
It wouldn't matter,
it doesn't. But I'm saying, when you have such a huge thing on the line.
I mean, Gronk's
they were shaking hands, taking selfies, totally not even caring or anything at all about it.
They probably get it from Dan Marino.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
if I was Brady, I'd be like, oh, God, Marino for sure doesn't have a vaccination.
Marino's down at some oyster bar. He's doing shots. He's partying.
Yeah, he's pumping.
Yeah.
Whoever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's got to take some
I
waitress
did feel
into
bad.
Because
at the very end,
you can't get.
go ahead.
I mean, even if you're vaccinated, you still test positive. You get popped for COVID, and you're
they sit you down, man.
Yeah,
You're done.
you can. Well, you could miss a game. You gotta get. It's just a big pain in the ass. So you think if you're a Brady, you'd be like, I'm just gonna, keep my distance from old Smokey Marino.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, who is the Bucks backup? Just in case he did have to miss time.
It's
who's the backup to the Bucks?
It's old. No, I just talked about this with somebody.
Yeah. It's not,
Danny Warfel.
It's not good. I forgot who it is. It isn't the UF. Is a guy they drafted. Or,
Somebody will know in the chat room.
Anyway. It will hurt them. It'll hurt their chances of winning.
It's actually Dan Marino, which is really weird.
So the last note about this, 2 Chainz was the performer at the end, and he closed out the evening. But the problem is he did it after the very last award. So everyone, half the audience, ended up leaving. So by the time 2 Chainz gets on stage, no one's in the crowd to listen to him or cheer for him. I felt bad.
My
Poor
God.
2 Chainz.
Poor 2 Chainz. Most expensivest.
Did he still give it his
or
all?
Did he just go one chain?
Oh yeah, no, he went all out. Yeah, he went nuts. The few people that were there were having a blast. But then if you turn the house lights on, you would see it's maybe a quarter of the house was still there.
Oh. Yeah, you know, at
Just
least
give him one chain. Just give him a half of it.
how's 2 Chainz? He's a super smart dude in the 2, right?
Yeah, I mean, because he didn't have to present, he was just an artist. He did the artist thing where he basically stayed in his dressing room up until he had to go out on stage. Like there's barely any.
Did he know that Tom Brady and DJ Khaled were out there? He could have been out there talking to him and getting COVID.
No, I mean, it's a music act, so like I said, he just does what he wants. I don't really have to cue him. He knows when he needs to go on stage when the music starts playing. So as long as the music goes off, he just runs out with his mic.
Well, it sounds like you had a fun time, man. Now, do you get hooked up? Do you get paid pretty well to do something like that?
Oh my God, yeah. And the drawback was we were at the Hard Rock Casino in Hollywood, Florida. So I basically lost all of it gambling.
Oh, Kenny, what are you giving them the money?
Gambling addicts and your problems.
Yeah, what are you gambling on? Are you playing roulette like a sucker?
No, man, hitting up at the blackjack tables. Like after we do rehearsals, we have hours to kill. So I just go to the blackjack table and
and lose your whole paycheck. That is sad.
You got to try to count cards. That's your only advantage.
What does your wife say about this? That's your family's money.
Yeah, no, I didn't blow it all, but no, I got paid pretty decently for it, and it was a lot of fun. I will say though, you know how Hard Rock had the sports betting? They for some reason got rid of it. And it was awkward running through like the backstage areas of the Hard Rock Casino. Like you see all of these empty kiosks that are unplugged of the old sports betting machines that they only used for maybe a month.
Yeah,
so it was just like sad to see like a desolate wasteland.
So they did close it
down.
Oh,
they closed my app. Yeah, oh yeah, it happened before.
I didn't know.
Before my bets even placed, I placed my bets last week, and then all of a sudden I go to log on, and it's like, sorry, we are no longer, available.
Wow.
And then you were able to get into your account and get your money back through Venmo or whatever.
But that's it.
And I think they're just still fighting it. It's just like
they'll plug them back in, Kenny. Don't you worry. They'll plug them back in.
It was just awkward. Like, how much money did they spend? Because they had hundreds of these kiosks that you can do sports betting. And then they just aren't using them. And so they have to like put them in a storage area.
Yeah, that's millions of dollars. They'll just move them out and plug them back in.
Yeah, it'll go back. Like, I think it's just they're in a legal fight. I don't know the politics of it, but it's like DeSantis let them do it, and then someone sued, and then they got put on hold again, like halt until they figure out the lawsuit.
They'll work it out. Somebody didn't get their cut is what happened.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Somebody get their money.
As soon as they start
Where's my money?
Yeah.
Shut it all down.
Yeah. So as soon as they pay off the right people.
Honestly, it's probably Dan Marino's fault.
I know FanDuel and DraftKings, they want to get into Florida, and then the tribe.
It may end up being better for you that they work that out before it comes back. That's what I'm thinking. Is that when it comes back, we're open, baby.
As a gambler, you want the most amount of options. Like that's how you get an edge. Is I want FanDuel, DraftKings, I want Hard Rock app, I want Bovada.
You want all the competition. Yeah, everybody in the space.
Yeah, because then you shop lines and you get the best price. You don't want one, because if you only have one option, they're going to give you the
worst one.
The worst, 100%. Odds. Anyway,
it's fascinating that Tom will do that with gambling apps, but if he needs to buy something, he won't shop around on Amazon or Walmart or use coupon codes.
No, hold on. He will shop around on Amazon. I can't let you tell a lie.
Well, hold on.
But he won't ever use it. He's never used a coupon in his life.
Yeah. That's not a game to me. Like, for whatever reason, doesn't interest me. I like the game of trying to win against the apps, the casinos, the sports.
You're anti-machine. You're you against the machine.
Even though I could probably save the same amount of money. You're right. Using coupons and stuff. It's not about the money. It's about the game. Kenny.
So Kenny, when will we see Kenny again? Is this our last time seeing him for a minute?
Yeah. What are you doing for New Year's Eve? You and the old lady going out partying?
I'm flying out to Vegas because I got Drone Racing League going on at Allegiant Stadium at the beginning of the year.
Wait, are you the stage manager for Drone Racing League?
Yeah, man. I'll be yelling at all those 18-year-old pilots to go out there and fly them drones.
Will you call us live from Drone Racing League?
Sure. I mean, it's going to be at night, so I doubt you'll be on the air.
We'll figure something out.
Call us New Year's Eve, 9:30.
No, 11:55.
Oh, yeah, we'll be here.
And then we'll celebrate with you live on the air. We'll ring in the year.
We're like, we're here with
I'm
Kenny.
going to be 3 hours behind, though, so it'll be like, you guys are wishing Happy New Year, and I'll be like, well, still 9 o'clock.
Well, wait, then we'll call you back when you celebrate it.
Yeah, 3 in the morning, 2:55 a.m.
And I want your wife there, too. Put her on the line.
She'll just be sleeping. It's like, what is this, playing patio with your friends?
Oh, she hates it too. Why do all the wives hate this?
Because it's stupid. It's real
It
stupid.
is pretty
Yeah, it's
stupid,
stupid,
yeah.
and we're stupid.
Yeah, we are pretty dumb. All right, Kenny, we love you, buddy. Be good.
Yeah, I love you guys too. Happy holidays and Happy New Year.
Yeah,
you
same
too,
to you,
dude.
man. To you and your family. Thanks again for everything you did this year, man. And we're looking forward to 2022. Okay.
All right, we miss you, Sam. Sorry I couldn't yell at DJ Khaled for you.
Okay.
All right. She knows. You can't bring that up to Khaled, right?
What about
The
the
old,
pee?
yeah.
No, you can't.
He's gonna
I
be
mean,
like,
in
come
a
on, what are you
joking way, you could be. You
Yeah.
could. The only way you could do it is to look at him and be like, "Hey, you know the whole like, I'm just like you."
doing?" yeah.
That's the only way you can bring it up.
Yeah. All right. Bye.
This is your BDM show of the week, but not really. This is just like the.
Yeah. The little intro before the show because, I think we talked about it, but I text Jimmy and I said the 15th, Wednesday, come by at 11, or I think he was going to come by at 10. Anyway, so a week earlier, which was what you're about to hear, he showed up. And then we thought he was dropping off more of his spices.
He was.
Yeah, he was, but he thought it was the interview.
Well, he forgot he dropped off spices before. We have if you need Jim Colbert show spices,
yeah, don't go buy some.
don't buy them from him.
We'll send it to you.
I have so many that I got spices for years.
Yeah. And we'll break it up and we'll send you in like baggy.
Yeah, I'll let you
little
try
baggies.
them before
Yeah.
you buy them, like
Yeah,
a real
yeah.
drug dealer. If you want to try the Jim Colbert show spices, there's Divine Swine. There's Steak Shake, and then
They're good.
Kickin' Chicken. They're very good. I'll come by the studio. I'll put a little in your hand.
yeah.
3 shakes in your hand.
Just knock on the door and then stick your hand in.
Well, knock on the door and yell spice, and I'll come in, and then say which one. Chicken spice.
Oh no, I got a better idea. Slide a piece of paper underneath the door.
I'll
right?
shake it on the paper.
Yeah, and then just slide
I'll
it back
wet
in.
the paper. I'll shake it on there so it sticks. I'll slide the paper back under the door.
Yeah, then you can take it home,
You
dry
can ball
out.
it up, put it in your pocket.
Yeah. There it is.
Shake it on your chicken.
That's Tom and Dan guarantee.
Yeah, it's a guarantee. So before you get a little, well, it's almost an hour with Jimmy. We're going to go around the room. We're going to talk about what we're thankful for.
Well, we brought it up with Jimmy and he got uncomfortable and
Squirt Game, dude.
Yeah, Squirt Game. It was one of the first times
some Squirt Game.
ever that I found a porno that you weren't familiar with.
I was impressed.
Yeah. It kind of flew in underneath the radar. Every once in a while, I'll check up on Japanese game show.
I mean, they got it out fast, Squirt Game.
Yeah, and usually it's the same style game show. It's, they put their ass through the cardboard cutout or their boobs, and then the son has to suck all the boobs to see which one's his mom.
Your boobs are your mom's boobs.
Yeah, which I never understood why. I know this has been a reoccurring theme on Tom and Dan, but why did they go like taboo? I guess that's a popular character.
Squirt Game? No, this isn't Squirt Game.
No, that's a different one. That's
It said Squirt Game.
no. It looks like Squid Game. It's a
No,
damn
I know.
parody.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
This is it.
So this came out fairly recently, and no, this is not it either.
Yeah, this is it.
Oh,
Yeah, look at her. She's having to pick up a ping pong ball with her titties. That's the
now
game.
this is a different one.
Now, she has to get the ping pong ball. She got to pick up the ping pong ball with her titties. Watch. Okay, she's going to get it and put it in the glass of... Oh, now you're going to get fucked. So you can't do it.
But this
you're
is not
fucking around with this Squirt Game.
The one I
the
saw-
guards are going to fuck you.
The one I saw, it was literally the set of Squid Game, like the whole
Kids.
kids, No, the jungle gym set where they had to
Is it like this? Here's
get the
another.
cookie
Here's
with the
another
needle.
one.
No.
Oh, there's so many of them now.
I don't know if there's this, but I saw an actual one where they had legitimate costumes, the whole guys in the red suits.
Did they have it in here? But where's the one? I think the one that you found, because I saw it, it got pulled down.
No way. Pulled down from who?
Well,
the porn police? Nothing gets pulled down.
Here's a different one. Here's one where the girl is the guard and the guy is
this is just Halloween costumes. Like, I'm telling you, the Squirt Game, the actual parody. No, this is all garbage. They had the full set, and they had the cookies and the whole thing. They had the right props.
I can't find it.
They
I think Dan Marino made it take it down. I think.
It's weird.
It's down. I can't find it anymore.
You're in the wrong. What are you on
I was on
XNXS?
I know it was XNXX. Is that where you found it?
Man, I saw like Pornhub is so huge, and it may be the biggest brand in the United States.
What do you mean?
I mean, I guess not. I mean, okay. Top 10 most recognizable brands. Pornhub.
Do you mean as far as
I guess
you
no.
show
Old
the
people
logo?
don't know. Okay, top 10 most recognizable brands under 30, like for people under 30.
Pornhub? Yeah, it would be like you mean the logo.
Just a logo. Just
I'd go one step further. I think I could just take black lettering or just a black square and outline it in that orange, and show it to people, and they go, "Oh, that's Pornhub." Like I think.
Maybe I'm skewed because
have you played that game? There's an app, and it's a game where they take just the colors and almost and not the true logo, just the colors and maybe the silhouette of the logo.
Yeah, and people were
and I can get them all. Like I can just run through all of them. It doesn't matter what it is. Even like big corporations, IBM, like.
Well, that's what Danger Brain would tell you. Then that you have succeeded in making a good brand.
Yeah, and Squid Game kind of did that with the triangle, the X.
It
looks like the PlayStation button.
A lot of symbols that they're recognizable, like just the costuming. Like everybody knows Squid Game just by the costumes and the mask and the jumpsuits, all that stuff. But I remember seeing some Facebook thing about they're doing a high school battle of the bands, and the drummer literally just did, the drum beat that goes from the commercial into the actual porno that you're watching, and then just the Pornhub logo comes up. It's like ding, 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 like what? It's like a drum beat.
I don't think I know the Pornhub drum beat.
You would know what. Go on a Pornhub video,
all right,
and then click on it, and then the webcam girl thing will come up, and then that'll play, and then you hit skip, and then while it transitions from the ad into the video, watch. That right there.
That this beat.
This. That.
I've never paid attention to that.
The kid in high school just did that. Ding, 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 and people are like, ah! Like his whole, like he was trolling the.
I haven't seen that. That's hilarious.
And I don't know how real it is because I have to question everything.
It's funny.
But that was the video, and then the whole gymnasium erupted in cheers.
I always wanted to do that to one of our podcasts, and I've always chickened out. I thought about boosting the audio at the beginning of one of our shows, even before the commercial, and having that girl go, "Hey, you. Yeah, you. Come over here." The one that's talking about you while you're fucking about to whack it. And I was going to put it on there loud as hell so everybody's wife heard it. Yeah. But then I was like, yeah, don't do that. Don't be that guy.
But, man, I mean, could you imagine how many, high school 17-year-old teens are watching Pornhub? Like it might as well be 80% of the entire United States. I mean,
maybe more.
I mean, that's insane, right? So they're being exposed to this brand more than any other brand I could possibly think of. I mean, okay, your Cokes and your your Apple
consumer products. Yeah. I mean, this really is, you're consuming it with your eyeballs. You're not really paying anything for it.
And then you're not.
What's it worth though? That's the weird thing.
I don't know.
I never. This is where it starts to get real dicey and odd to me. Is what is the Pornhub arguably one of the most recognizable and used websites in the world, but what is it worth?
Hard to even quantify. I'm guessing a lot, and they're trying to figure out more and more how to monetize it. And they have, obviously. It's just there's so many eyeballs on the site that it's got to be worth projected in the billions.
Have they tried to partner with because it's dead, right? I mean, obviously we know, or the way that we used to consume pornography is dead. I mean, obviously it's changing or morphing into behind the scenes into whatever it is, whether it's peer to peer, consumer to the person. But I'm surprised that some of these big, in order to kind of use their clout and their quality control, I'm surprised some of the studios don't get together, shoot content under an umbrella and then just launch a very reasonable, you'd have to be extremely reasonably priced way to legitimately charge just like any other streaming service. Now, I realize that the tube places, it's already set in stone, it's already running, it's going to happen. Yeah. But the only way to get around that would be to provide it, make it a good app, great content, and keep it a value, right? Surprised somebody's not trying to do that. Or maybe somebody is.
Yeah, I mean, I saw some web commercial about a Pornhub gift card, and for like it's Pornhub Premium, whatever you get for that. I don't know what you even get, but when I saw it, I was like, that's brilliant. So many people will buy that gift card just as a gag.
It's a joke. Yeah, you put it in, like, you do it for the white elephant. It's hilarious. And then people really want it.
No, they'll use it.
Yeah, they don't want you to know they really want it, but they really want
laugh,
it. Oh, Pornhub. Oh, I got the Pornhub. Oh, sucks to be me. No, I'm just really excited to get the hell out of work.
Well, it's just like when I got my stepdad, Girls Gone Wild. He thought, he was like, oh, okay, but I'm sure he loved it. He even told me, he's like,
it's the best thing anybody ever done. You know, the whole releasing my bird thing. We're even.
So I'm guessing they'll make an insane amount of money through the gift cards too. And then if you are any company that doesn't mind being associated with Pornhub, and I think they've cleaned up a lot of their stuff, like getting revenge porn and underage shit and all that horrible and simulated
all the credit card issue that they had with that was the big one, right? When the credit card companies were saying, well, you guys aren't vetting any of this, so we can't be connected to you.
Yes,
so we're out.
Yeah.
And they're like, well.
Yeah. I know some people just started buying because they were like, I know that the reality kings, and this is I've talked about this before, but I know a guy that insures the reality kings, and what they did is they started just buying credit card processing companies because they were tired of paying the fee to the so they just started
millions of dollars,
and then they just got slowly into legitimate business because the guys that started it were legitimate businessmen, like grads, and the taboo of being in the porn industry, like they got so rich that they wanted to just get into a more, I guess, a less judged industry, and just and that's what they ended up doing, I believe. And I think most of the partners that originally owned it sold it.
Yeah, most of them went legit, I think.
Yeah, and then just
got into different areas.
Yeah, got into they were smart businessmen, but the amount of money that they made is insane, and it just goes. I mean, it's the most popular thing on the internet. I think still close to the most viewed thing worldwide is pornography.
Yeah.
And I think there's some documentary about how it shaped society and how it shaped people's using the internet, and pornography did.
Really?
It was some fascinating thing where it forced a lot of people to learn the internet because they wanted that aspect of it, and then it was kind of it helped I guess grow the popularity of the internet super fast because everybody's so horny and they just want to see porn.
A couple of things from the Twitch chat room. Let's see here. We had a couple of things I wanted to touch on. It was going kind of slow. Let's see here. Brock Bedium says, so MindGeek owns Pornhub and a fuck ton of other porn sites, so they're cannibalizing their own content at the cost of the performers. I don't know that much about what's going on, so yeah.
I don't know the politics and the business behind it, but I'm sure just like any giant corporation, that the performers they're trying to pay them the least amount of money,
and especially them, because unfortunately for porn performers, remember when people would steal their stuff? I mean, it's like, you're a porn performer, who cares? You're second class citizen. That's kind of how it was, and that's not fair.
These tube sites started with stealing everybody's content, but now the performers at least can release their own content, but then it gets stolen by Pornhub, and that's the whole problem.
Or by people giving it to Pornhub under their own name. Brock also says, and he put in quotes, horny MILFs in your area. Let's talk about that for a second. I see those things on the side of X videos or Pornhub, and it'll be on the right-hand side, and it's usually a decent, voluptuous, curvy-bodied, hard, older, it's an old lady, right, with short blonde hair, and she's hard, but she's got a decent figure or figure for her age, But there's no way in hell I want to sleep with her because she's gross. She's like, but it's not gross if I were as gross as her, but I'm not. Like, I don't know how to describe. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, I don't even know who is. I don't know what the racket of that even is.
They're going with a lady to make you sort of think that this white trash, blonde-haired, short-haired, hard muscle old lady
lives in your area.
Like, that she wants to fuck you. They're not going to put like a supermodel on there because we know that's not true. Well, so they put this like muscle hag on there.
What even is like? Why do they even want you to click on it?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's something to get you some information to advertise to you, something.
I don't know.
But
it's
no
always
MILF
the same lady
in your area wants to.
Let me see if I
do
can
anything
find
with
it.
you.
I want to see if I can find the lay. I got the Jerkmate ad. That's the one I was talking about when they go, "Hey, you."
Yeah,
you.
What's that business?
Jerkmate?
Yeah. I'm sure Jimmy appreciates us talking about only porn for 15 minutes before his interview.
I believe that Jerkmate is like chat roulette, but you pay for it. Like, I think it's people that want to use their webcam to see each other jack off.
Oh,
and you're opting into something that it's an opt-in, rather than chat roulette where it's like, oh, I'm whacking in front of kids or like some lady that's just, like.
And so like another person like you that's masturbating in front of their camera and wants to share their experience, and then you just
I
jump.
think that's what it might be. Yeah.
Okay. And then you
never
pay.
been on it.
Okay.
Been tempted though. I don't lie on this program. Like I've seen it, and I mean, like Jerkmate, that's cheating, right? Like if you sign up for a website, well, to some women it would be, and men. I think my wife would think that's cheating. If I sign up for a website where me and other humans can like jack off in front of each other, I think she'd have a problem with that.
She may have a problem, but it's hard to like make the argument of cheating because they're strangers.
Well, if I'd rather jack off with my jack off friends than with my wife.
Well, that's a relationship problem.
Right. Yeah, okay. Wow.
But
it's almost like we've done this before.
Also, it's like, how can you even prove that they're not videotaping the whole thing, or like the person that's looking at you?
Maybe that's what excites me.
Yeah. Because you're like, I don't, what if this person like films me?
Like, would I even do it if I knew they weren't videotaping me? If they're like, look, this is the safest way to jack off, no one will ever know. I'd be like, well, I don't want to do it.
You're on a live camera, but I guess you could use a secondary camera to film what's on the screen. You know what I'm saying? Something like that.
Oh, film the guy jerking off.
Yeah. It seems like a lot of chances that people, like if you were just a dad that was going to relieve some stress, and this is what you're into. Nothing wrong with it.
There isn't anything wrong with it, but it would ruin your Tuesday if your wife gets an email and there's a video of you jacking off on a jack-off website.
Well, I would think that they may try to...
Let me look. I'll go to Jerkmate and see what it's like.
Yeah, like the person that filmed it may try to find you and then like blackmail you in some way and be like, I videotaped what you did, and I'm going to release it to your family on your Facebook. I don't know. Like, maybe I'm being paranoid, but I feel like
it appears to be
a lot of paranoid people out there.
Okay, find your perfect jerk-off partner. What are you looking for? Okay, well, let's just do it. What are we looking for? Women, men, trans, or couples?
Let's go with couples.
All right, couples. All right. Okay, pulled up a couple.
Okay.
What do you find most attractive? Asian, Caucasian, ebony, or Latina?
I like a spicy Latina.
I like a Latina, too.
Yeah.
So far, you and I are picking the same ones. All right. There's a Latin. Dude, it's dialing up a Latin. This thing is great.
Oh, I like curvy.
We got petite, athletic, curvy, or BBW. Big, beautiful woman. How curvy do you want to go?
I'll go with regular curvy, but I can take both.
Okay. I can take both, too. She's sucking a D.
Oh, yeah. So then you just go and then...
What is your favorite hair color? Black, blonde, brown, or red? I'm going to go red.
Okay.
And search complete. Chat with and then it lists different Latin couples with red. There she is. Her name is Lucky.
We found the unicorn, the Latin curvy woman with red hair.
Yeah, she says, she's in a show right now. I'll show you whatever you want. We'll do my shows with extreme malice for your sacrifice. Well, whoa, my God.
What was that?
Extreme malice for my sacrifice. I usually just jack off. I put a penis in my wife. There's no malice. There's no sacrifice. It's like literally just penis in a vagina.
What does that mean?
That's harsh.
That makes it sound like it's just a bot or like you're some...
This one says, we are the innocent type, but very dirty when we're heated. We enjoy sex and pleasing others. And this one says, it's very hot to know that I have such a beautiful lady in my room. Just give me a good PVT.
Hold on, what's that acronym?
I don't
for?
know any of the. I'm not in this world, man. I just go penis in my wife's vagina. It's boring as shit. I just know red hair. There's no Latin lover. There's no nothing.
There's videos.
Last night I think it was dead silent. I think it was about 32 seconds.
There are people that are into this big time, and
This jerkmate thing is all, dude. It's crazy. This is. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with this.
no, I mean, why? What's wrong with it?
Let's go to one. Let's try Anastasia.
Although I'm
here.
not living my best life, like people are into this.
Okay, here's Anastasia. She's bent over on all fours with her asshole pointed to like a wall.
Okay.
Oh, she's very beautiful.
But she's in her studio.
And she's giving kisses as her titties fall out of her pajama shirt.
It's so weird that there's just like countless of this stuff going on as we speak.
Turn-ons. Older and dominant men who can smoke and make me their slave. They make love to me and I'll scream what I want them to do. I also love to see their cocks. Expertise. I'm up to experiments. I can do it long and hard. I want to give pleasure the most and receive as much as it is possible. I will do anything to satisfy you.
If you're not shy and you don't care about anybody seeing this, like you're not working at Arby's. Like this, you're doing this.
No.
This is way easier.
You'd only work at Arby's if you're doing this if you really loved Arby's. Like you have a passion for it.
Well, I'm just saying, you're not going to Old Navy and working retail or whatever. Like you're doing this because it's a way easier.
The only person that I know of that absolutely could never do this is Jimmy, and he's up next. He's too disgusting. He's far too disgusting, right? He's the only person we know that could
no, he could do it. He could do it.
He and EJ could not do it.
Jimmy's a passionate man.
He is a lover. He is a lover.
I mean, I could imagine.
Yeah, I bet he could really work it down. If you know what I mean. Start at the top all the way down to the ground.
I'm sure he appreciates us doing the 15 minutes before his interview, but we had to fill the whole hour.
Yeah, we had to give you a little bit of Squirt Game to get to the Jimmy.
It's his fault. He was the wrong day.
Should I name this show Jimmy and Squirt Game?
Yes, you should.
Okay.
All right. Buy Jimmy Spices. They're great.
Yeah.
You can get them at
Tools Ace Hardware. Yeah, up the street, right here in Colonial. That's the one that I go to all the time, and get them, and they're really good spices.
Go on his social. He'll tell you where to buy them online and everything like that. You can get all three at once.
You can get them shipped from Jimmy, but if you're in a pinch and you need them now, Tools Ace Hardware is the place to find them. Yep. There you go. So happy holidays to everybody. Enjoyed this show, and
be safe out there. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Let's jump into it because one of our clients has live music. Have you heard of the Tuffy's Music Box, Tom?
Yeah, it's a really cool venue. Plus, Tuffy's is an awesome bar, so you can make a night out of it. And if you're going to make a night out of it, you're going to do it New Year's Eve night. And speaking of New Year's Eve night, Andy Frasco and the UN are playing at the Music Box at Tuffy's. Get your tickets. Their tickets are on sale right now at TicketWeb. You could just search Music Box Tuffy's Andy Frasco. But we got Andy Frasco on the line. How you doing, dude?
What up?
So,
hey, man.
How you doing, guys?
Hey, thanks for the time. Do you come to Florida a lot, Andy?
To be honest, no.
Okay.
But we played there a couple times, and I love the vibe out there. I've never been to Sanford. I heard it's pretty cool.
Oh my God, you're gonna lose your mind.
Yeah, it's like, you know what, Andy? It's gonna be like taking a COVID vacation because there's no COVID here. I don't know if you heard.
We're wide open, Andy. We're wide open, and Sanford is more wide open than any. Sanford, you're gonna have some fun, dude.
It's like you stepped back in 2019, no mask anywhere.
Oh, it's terrific. And trust me when I tell you, you picked the right city to do New Year's in, because we're massive fans of Sanford. They always treat us right when we go there with our listeners and we do events. And man, we're really happy to have you at Tuffy's Music Box.
I'm stoked, man. This is my first time playing in America on New Year's Eve for 8 years. So this is the first time back in the motherland on New Year's Eve. We normally play in China, in Hong Kong and Macau and stuff, and like opening up for like Justin Bieber and like David Beckham. Like, it's so random, and it's like, this is the first time back in America, and we're going to Sanford, baby. Let's get it.
Hold on a second. So you went from opening in China for Justin Bieber and David Beckham, which are two of the biggest stars you could ever list. What could you tell us a little bit about doing stuff like that? Because a lot of people don't know your story. I didn't when I started reading about you, but the more Tom told me about it, and the more I read about you, the more I realized that you're just kind of like a party all across the world musician guy, right?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah, I mean, I've been crowd surfing in every country since I was 19. I would like just basically, I do 250 shows a year. I've been doing that since I was 18. Bought a van. I used to like Craigslist musicians in every city and do the whole Chuck Berry thing until I got good enough to like have a band trust me with their lives, you know. So,
Andy, because let's slow down a second, because your story is super interesting, and it's not the same story we're used to hearing from bands, because you started as in the record industry with drive-through, right? And like, is that kind of how you learned the business behind being a band?
Yeah, man, one of the first books I ever read was like Guerrilla Marketing and All You Need to Know About the Music Business when I was like 12. I grew up in LA where like, you know, I wanted to be in the music industry, but I didn't know how to play an instrument. So I'm like, I'm just going to market and book my friends' local bands. And then I got a job at Capitol Records and Drive-Thru Records. And then it was 2006 and they fired all the young kids because Napster took over. And I'm like, I was like, why fire the kids? We understand digital marketing. So I kind of got bitter about the music industry. I'm like, screw this. I'm going to learn an instrument. I'm going to market myself. And I just basically been living on the road for 15 years. You know, I've nonstop playing every dive bar and theater and everything, you know, and one thing led to another. Now, you know, 15 years later, we finally have a fan base. It's pretty cool.
Hey, I mean, I guess it's amazing, Andy. Like,
it's a crazy story.
Now, when you say you gloss, and you know, we read your bio, we see you just decided to teach yourself an instrument, and you kind of like. You talk about that nonchalantly. Yeah, I just learned an instrument. That's it. I mean, that's hard as hell to do. You had to have been some musically inclined before that, right? Like, or you just literally went from zero to learning how to play an instrument.
Yeah, full throttle, baby. That's how I live my life. You know, like the American dream of like. I feel like it's a mind state. If you feel like you could do it, and not like if you take all the no's out of your brain. And then I feel like you just learn things way quicker. And like I've always wanted to be a musician. I was like hosting Battle of the Bands, so like I knew I could entertain people with like my the stuff I say in my mouth. I don't really have a filter, so it's kind of bad in some ways. But from that, I was just like being a front man and learning how to be a musician and a songwriter, and you know, accepting that it's going to take a long time for me to get good at this. So instead, I just, crowd surf my way into people's hearts.
Well, how do you navigate the space? Like, do you ever get any shade from guys that maybe are doing it longer and less successful that then maybe resent the fact that you just kind of started maybe later in life?
Oh yeah. You get like the pretentious musicians who, you know, think that I'm just a joke, but, you know, screw them. That's why they're bitter.
yeah, exactly. Now, Andy,
you are correct.
I'm curious because when someone goes and watches you and your band, you do a lot of improv, and it seems like there's not one show that's like the other show, and you include the audience a lot. There's a lot of audience participation.
It's interactive. It's bigger than just your average stage show,
and that's hard to do. And me and Daniel were talking about like when you do that, and if you talk to any band that knows this, it's like you're taking a chance because you don't know where it's going to go. It's not rehearsed.
You could fail now.
Yeah.
I mean,
and when most performances and bands are well rehearsed, and if you talk to like Metallica, right? I don't know why I use Metallica, but they probably can't even figure out one they
are extremely well rehearsed.
Their show in Kansas City is the same show in Alabama, is the same show in Florida.
Yeah.
Like it's a
scripted production, sure,
and nothing changes. They probably can't even tell them apart at this point. They don't know where they're
right now. You're not even doing the interview. I think you're loading boxes, right? Like, I mean, you're always doing something different.
So how do you navigate doing it like that?
It's yeah, no, our show is like my job is, you come to my show to forget about life. We're making everyone present. We're crowd surfing. We're getting fans on stage to get dry humped by my saxophone player with the saxophone. We just want people to have fun. My goal in life is to get people out of their heads and just to have a blast and dance. We're optimistic music, and it's like I just want people to forget about life's hard, and they could come to my show for 2 hours and realize that we could get away and have a release, and that's my job.
I like that mentality, Andy, and I want to talk to you about therapy and mental health too, because you talk a lot about that. But I'm curious, you see this every once in a while. You'll see I think it happened with Afro Man and some other musicians where a fan will jump up on stage and then run towards the musician, and the musician will punch them or kick them
or smash them with their guitar.
Try to hurt them as hard as they can because
stab them with the point of their guitar.
And when you see it, you're like, I don't know if that person was trying to attack you. They may have just been excited.
Running hug.
For you to punch them as hard as you can seems like overkill. And then
it's a little aggressive.
So for you, Andy, when you see those type of things, especially for you when you invite your audience on stage, and I'm sure it's chaotic every once in a while, but it's all about the party and having a good time. You got to be like, why are you punching your audience in the face?
I never understood that. It's like some people, probably have a bad day, or some people probably just hate touring, and we're not. We got to take our egos out of it. We're here to entertain people. It's like music is to entertain. We could be all in our heads and be all narcissistic that our music means too much, or we could just go with the punches. Life happens, there's unexpected things that happen in life all the time. We're just gonna punch everyone because it's bad. No.
What's the craziest?
Let's make it part of the show.
What's the craziest thing? Since you do invite people on stage, you invite people to get up there and dance. You're singing and
you're down with the crowd a lot of times. Have you ever had a problem?
Oh yeah, I've had people suck on my toes and stuff.
Okay, all right.
I'm barefoot and I'm barefoot, and I guess there's this community of people who like feet pictures. I guess I have no idea, but I have dirty feet too. And we've had these a couple people just run on stage and try to make out with me, or or some old cougar women just trying to have their way with me.
Oh, Sanford has those.
I'm ready. Let's go. Where the Sanford Cougars at? Let's ride.
They're everywhere.
So, Andy, I'm curious. So, for a guy that has been touring as much as you do and playing as much as you do, when COVID first happened and everything shut down, how'd you deal with that? Did you start getting depressed that you weren't doing shows?
I need somebody to suck on my toes. I'm bored.
Yeah. I'm where are those toe suckers at? No, at first it was I've been hitting it hard since I was 19. And the first 2 weeks, I'm oh my God, I can finally sleep. And then you start getting anxious because your routine is different. So I figured out a way to try to entertain people, because it was a sad time for people. It's when you're alone in your room or alone in your couch, and there's only so much Netflix and porn you can watch in a day. And so it's I wanted to start throwing these dance parties, and I started doing podcasts with musicians I could never be able to get, because I know I have a mental health and music and actors and comedian podcast that we talk about getting through life. And so I really dove into that, and I was throwing these dance parties at my house where we just have I'd get people, all my fans in a Zoom, and we just dance together. Like I said in the beginning of this interview, I don't want people to feel alone. We're already so alone in our heads that COVID was the extremeness for people being alone. So it was if I could figure out a way to just connect people even through a pandemic, that's my job. So we started doing these dance parties, and then they got really big, and like 300,000 people in a Zoom, and it felt like Boogie Nights, or not Boogie Nights, Soul Train.
Well, it felt like Boogie Nights.
I was like,
I've
what?
got 300,000 people watching me on Zoom.
What kind of dance party?
I'm young. I have a massive penis.
Yo, I wish. I'm Jewish, man. I don't have any big penis like that. I wish.
Well, Andy, it's interesting
Small
because
penis, dirty feet. 300,000 people watching you on Zoom.
You talk about podcasting, and that's kind of what we do here, and we do for our business full time now. And what we've seen is that the community of our listeners is way more engaged and tighter than like what we had on like terrestrial radio.
Yeah.
And have you seen, like, it seems like your followers, the people that come to your shows are more like a podcast community because it seems like they know you and you seem like you're way open. So are you eating Cheetos?
No, I totally get that. Cause I used to, I love radio. It's one of my favorite things. Like, one of my favorite people in the world is Howard Stern, and like how he just like can be silly but also be retrospective with his guests. And podcast is the perfect format for that. And I was trying to get a job at Sirius XM, and I realized that I might be a little too wild for that. So I started doing podcasts, and ever since then, I mean, our viewership's been amazing. And it's just, I love podcasts because you don't have to sugarcoat anything. You can be exactly the person you want to be. So.
Yeah. No, being real. And let's talk about that, Andy, because with the mental health, and I saw a quote from you that you were talking about how everybody just sees you on stage and having the party and enjoying, obviously the stage experience and putting on the show.
The fun part.
And so then that's what your audience knows you to do. They're like, oh, hey, Andy's happy all the time. He's he's always partying. He's a happy.
Yeah.
And then you're like, there's another side to be when I'm off the stage.
Sure.
And
when you're sitting alone eating Cheetos, dirty feet.
And so is it is it hard that like you got this huge community of people that only know you for being on stage and that personality, but then you have troubles like everybody else, and you go through like depression, anxiety, and all the other stuff that every human goes through. So can you talk about that for a second?
Yeah, it's like anything in life. When you have kids, when you have a job, like we lose ourselves in whatever we're doing, and like I never wanted to have that happen to me, and it did. And I started getting into coke and just having a bunch of one night stands and just like losing myself over the idea of what people thought of me. And like I was just becoming hollow and stuff. So it was like, for your own stability of being truthful to yourself, I mean, you kind of have to like take it with a grain of salt. Everyone wants you to be this thing. Everyone thinks you're this guy. Like, I bet you too. You guys have great personalities. Probably when you're home sometimes, you're like, your wives probably want to kick your ass or something.
Like every day, like last night.
I guess. Yeah, so it's the same thing. Like it's like we're not always gonna have good days. It's like we need to like make feeling shitty normal again. It's like that's the problem with social media. Like we're forced to have good days every day, or like at least promote good days. And like life isn't about that. It's about the ups and downs. That's what makes you appreciate the good days.
Yeah, no, 100%. It is weird with social media because people do, their go-to is to focus on what they're doing that's great, right? They want to portray like, look at my vacation, look at this, look at the food I'm eating.
Accomplishments, positive accomplishments.
Like, look how good of a parent I am. Like, so we're all just being inundated by images of our friends and family and strangers and all like having these great lives, and then a lot of people aren't having, even them, and they're just my life isn't this. Why is this person's life? And it's not. Everybody's dealing with the same problems. It's just nobody wants to talk about those, like the bad stuff that happens in your life, or the times you're fighting with your family,
or the times that maybe nothing even bad. What if you're just there? What if there's literally no bad? There's no good. It's just
nothing.
Yeah, you're just kind of doing it.
Yeah, that's the thing too, and that's okay. We've become a society like boring days make us depressed. And that shouldn't happen. It's just because we're overstimulated with everyone else's happiness. through social media. It's like so dumb. We need to like start being ourselves again.
Andy, last question. I want to talk about Live on the Rocks.
Oh, cool, man. Yeah, live at Red Rocks. That was insane.
Yeah, and because I want to ask you for the type of music you play, and there's a certain genre that it seems like Red Rocks, there's no better venue for that. Like, like my wife's a big Avett Brothers fan, and then like they did a special at Red Rocks, and like everybody does special at Red Rocks. It's like, well, this is the coolest venue in America, right? Like for that genre of band,
man. If not,
and
B1.
Would you say it's the coolest venue in America, especially for your genre of music?
Man, I'm telling you, there's something magical about that place. It has a great venue. St. Augustine has this great amphitheater too.
Yeah, right up the street from us. I've been there. I saw Casey Musgraves there, and it was phenomenal, man. That's a great little amphitheater.
Isn't that a great vibe?
Yeah, what a good little spot.
Yeah, and it's like, it's like a venue just helps the musician out so much. Because when you're in like such an amazing place like Red Rocks, you're in the middle of these like Red Rock amphitheater. It's like, it just like, you could play like shit and people will still probably love it because they're at fucking Red Rocks, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Like anything you watch at Red Rocks is going to be good just because you're at Red Rocks. Now, speaking of...
and it makes the musician play better too. Like when you have that, that's such historic. The Beatles played there, and like everyone that's played there, it just makes you want to play better. It makes you want to take the gig seriously, and it makes you want to just be a part of history.
So if that's the best, what's the worst you played?
Good question.
Oh, man, I played a chicken farm in Emporia, Kansas. That sucked.
A chicken farm. Could you hear the chickens while you were playing?
Oh, man, it was Tyson. It was a Tyson. It was like, you just hear, like, you just feel death,
Yeah, they're killing, like, 10,000 chickens every
hour.
Yeah,
they're killing, yeah, exactly. I'm like, yo, chill.
What did they invite? Was it a corporate
they
thing?
just want you to get up there and sell a positive
No, it's just Emporia. Emporia, Kansas is like the Tyson, where the Tyson factory is. And, like, we played right next to the Tyson factory. And, like, it was just such a weird vibe. And, like, all the people there, like, they're a very blue-collar type of city. And, like, I come in there like a bat out of hell. Like, hey, let's be happy. He's like, I just killed 1,000 chickens today.
I'm poor. I killed 1,000 chickens.
I respectfully will just stand here and just be okay with your music. I'm not going to get too crazy. I killed everyone today. That's hilarious.
Well, Andy, hey, thanks for taking the time to talk to us.
Man.
Yeah, man.
Again, Andy Frasco and the UN is going to be at the Music Box. That's at Tuffy's in Sanford.
Yep, Tuffy's Bottle Shop and Lounge. Go see him on New Year's.
Yeah, New Year's Eve, December 31st. Doors open at 6 p.m. Get your tickets at TicketWeb. Just search Tuffy's Music Box. Andy, it's a pleasure talking to you. Hopefully, next time you come into town, you can come in studio.
Dude, I'm in. You tell me when. Let's do it.
All right, awesome. Buddy. Hey, take care of yourself, okay? And thanks again for the time.
Have a great one, guys.
Yeah, you too.
You too. All right.
So, yeah. Nice guy. It's
very nice guy.
His story is interesting because it seems like he figured out, like, all right, this is the equation to have a successful band, and he just forced it through. He learned how to play an instrument, and he's like, I'll have fun. I'll provide
I'm
a fun.
I'm intrigued with the later in life instrument learning. Yeah. That is fascinating to me because that's hard. Your brain doesn't work like that when you get middle aged.
And even though
it's not designed to learn drums easy,
it seems like he adopted a show first band experience, whereas like the show is almost more important than the albums. That even though it's good music, it's pretty
kind
interesting.
of smart because it'll be more fun for him just by design.
Yeah.
He's going into it with like, look, I just want to put on a good show and have fun.
And his audience is super engaged and travels with him and stuff. So anyway, it's good. All right.
Yeah, nice guy.
We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Corporate Time. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan.
We got new merch on the website, tomanddan.com. Get the app. That's the easiest way to hear everything that we put out.
Yeah, it's free, too. All of our content's on there. Our Friday free shows that are uncensored. You get all of those.
Yeah, if you want it organized. I mean, I know a lot of people just subscribe on whatever podcast, deal they listen to? Is it like,
Yeah, you could
Apple
use
Podcasts
Apple
or
Podcasts,
Google Play?
Google Podcasts.
Or, all the other aggregates that, they just subscribe to ACT and AMT. But on our app, you can get all that, and you can get the BDM shows if you're a BDM member. And you sign up at tomdan.com. Once you get a name and password, you put it in the app, and then it's automatically logged in.
Yep.
So you could choose ACT, AMT, BDM shows. You can go to our merch page. You can go to event page.
Everything's there.
Yeah. And,
it
sponsor page.
Yeah, it kicks up pretty fast. When new things go up, it goes to the app. Primarily, it goes there first. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but all shows are on there. You can even subscribe to be a BDM, spend a little extra money. Puts a little money in our pocket, but you get extra shows, you get extra events.
Yeah, the starting baseline is $1.95 a month. If you want to go there, you can go all the way up to $10.95. It's a spectrum.
Like, for instance, our chat room is talking about, and I need to get better at plugging, but our chat room, and thank you so much for being kind of like the third man of the show today. Sourdough says the Deborah Roberts interview, the BDM interview that you guys did with Deb Roberts from the Jim Colbert Show, was really, really good.
My mom texts me and she's like, I love the interview with Deborah Roberts.
We don't have, and this is for no reason other than we don't know a lot of intelligent, smart women to have on this program.
Yeah,
we put our wives on here, but they're not smart and intelligent, and we've done Sam and Deborah Roberts.
Especially with Deborah working in radio for 30 years. She's got some horror stories of old school radio.
Stories.
Horror.
Yeah,
horror.
You gotta put that you said horror stories.
Also, we got Jim Colbert on our BDM show.
Yeah.
This week, in fact, if you're listening to the
And
week
he's
after
fast,
Christmas.
extra fast, Jim.
We got our Black Christmas episode of BDM show.
I don't even know if I can release that yet.
It's there.
I got to go through it. I got to comb through it first and make sure we're okay. Are you ready to do ChriStreama?
Let's do it.
All right. You hate this theme song, so hold your ears. Here we go.
Spending time on the radio, I really like the Tom and Dan show. Time to learn of what I'm missing. The next segment is a girl I'm kissing. ChriStreama, ah la la la, ChriStreama, ah la la la, ChriStreama, ah la la la, ChriStreama. We love you on the Tom and Dan show.
It reminds me of like a Nickelodeon show, like Hey Dude or something.
Yeah.
Or like, it's homegrown. I like it. It's got a charm to it.
ChriStreama's on the line. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
We're good.
Yeah.
Tom hates that song, though. He's mad as ever. He's so mad.
Oh, you know what I forgot? ChriStreama, hold on. We'll start in a second. I forgot to tell you. I was texting or emailing Jack and telling him about our like schedule for ACT.
Who's Jack?
Jack Bradshaw.
Oh!
Yeah. And then I was like, all right, we're going to do the first hour of ACT Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for the 2 weeks that we're off. The week before Christmas and the week after or whatever. And then he's like, all right, cool, perfect. I'm like, I'm organized with KC, blah, blah, good. And then I sent him the email. And then I'm like, oh, yeah. And then he's like, all right, perfect. He's like, Merry Christmas. I'll see you guys next year. And then I was like, oh, yeah, I also got this bit that I want to get you on the show. I want to get D-Rug and Jolly their own radio show at midnight.
Yes.
We'll start off one day a week. I just want to talk to you about it. No reply.
Yeah.
And then I was like, no. And then I was like, maybe.
Guess who was emailing Sam all last night?
No, D-Rug.
Jolly.
Oh, yeah.
Jolly hammering her.
Because I promised him. I said,
hey, where's that show?
Because you heard me tell him I 100% guarantee you will get you a show.
I think this is my fault because I think I 100% guaranteed them, and I'm forced you to give them a show, and you can't even give them a show.
I thought that at least Jack would get on the show and be like, hey, let's get him a show. But no, I don't know if he it's too
Maybe
loose. Takes it too seriously.
Maybe he's looking it up to see who these characters are. But
I think I insulted him by saying it was just like put on.
ChriStreama, do you want a show? We can get you a show.
Yes.
Okay.
All right,
you want
guaranteed.
it on Real Radio. What day part do you want? Any day parts available.
Yes. Wednesdays I'm usually off. So
What
Wednesdays.
time? What time on Wednesdays?
This time. This is a good time.
What time is it?
1:30. So
Okay,
Jim's
1:30.
on, right? Jim Colbert? No, News Junkie. I'll talk to Sean.
Yeah,
I'll
okay,
make it
all right.
happen.
Oh, I forgot.
It's a
I don't
guarantee.
listen live, so.
Oh, you don't listen live. See, nobody does. It's fine. See, we're doing market. We're doing market research, and I'm giving away shows.
You should do a podcast and then just call it Real Radio 104.1. Like they'll never sue you. I know the company. They'll never take the time to like
say they're gonna sue you, but they won't.
No.
That's what they'll do.
Nobody
that's what they did to me.
Because if they take the time, they got the email like
they don't
San
really
Antonio
want to sue you. They're gonna big talk and they're gonna say they're gonna sue you, but they're not gonna sue you. They don't want that headache.
Just.
I guess I need to buy ChriStreama.com.
Already bought it. You're too late. I already bought that.
We'll sell it to you.
I've been selling
$800.
I've been selling your boyfriend's song off of there for like a year now.
So, ChriStreama, what have you been watching on the old internets?
Well, I was afraid Tom was going to be mad at me because I haven't really watched a lot of new stuff because I've been working. I've been subbing.
So wait a minute. So what you're saying is you haven't put a lot of effort into your bit. It seems to be a thing. It seems to be a thing for everybody except for Game Show Drew. Everybody except for Game Show.
Kenny put some effort. He lives his life and talks about it.
Kenny does put some. And Pat does too. Well,
no.
Pat's got to step it up.
He's got nothing.
Everybody.
But we give Pat a pass because we like him so much.
He gets the Pat pass.
Yeah.
Everybody except for Kenny has to step it up.
And Game Show Drew.
I'll try to do my best, but just nothing really, really new. I was going to tell you guys about this awesome show that I've been watching. There's 5 seasons available on Amazon Prime, and there's a final 6th season coming out this year, or next year, 2022. And it's kind of like a cross between Point Break and Sons of Anarchy. Except with bike culture, it's more surf culture. It's called Animal
Anarchy. Ooh, I love it.
It's a great show. It's set in Oceanside, California.
Okay, what's it called?
It's called Animal Kingdom.
I heard about this.
And it's like surfer mafia?
Yes, that's exactly how I would put it. They're like a criminal organization. They're a family. And it's kind of centered around this kid, Jay. He's a 17-year-old, and he goes to live with his grandmother, who's Smurf is her name. She's played by Ellen Barkin, who still looks hot, by the way. And she's the matriarch of the family, and then she's got adult sons. And, of course, the 17-year-old grandson gets into the mix. And it's a really fun show because they do a lot of heists. And, like, if you like that kind of thing, like, they plan jobs, and they'll go and, like, rob different things, and it's not just bank robbing.
Are they bad people or are they good people?
No. Well, here's the thing. Some of them are a little complicated, like especially Smurf. There's a complicated relationship going on between her and her kids.
Is she like a redneck grandma? She's like, we're going to pull some hash, and I'm an old, call me Smurf, and we're pulling the hash, and I'm discussing old matriarch. Is it like that kind of a vibe?
No, she's real classy, but she's like, you don't want to mess with her. You know what I mean?
Or what? See, what is Smurf? What is Smurf hiding? What, has she killed anybody? This Smurf?
She'll kill you. She'll straight up. She's cold-blooded, man.
But wasn't she just before the 17-year-old though brought the drugs to the house? She was just an old grandma, right?
No, well, what's fun about it is the show will explain all that, but in the later seasons they actually show flashbacks to young Smurf. So a different actress playing her as a young Smurf. And kind of how she got started. It, like pretty much from her young childhood, she was learning how to steal and like run grifts and all that kind of stuff.
Gotcha.
So it's a really, really good show, though. And I will tell you, I've watched
Smurf.
My really good friend Kevin told me about this show. He lives in Oklahoma, and I started watching it, but I had been drinking a lot at the time. And so I'm finding that some of these things that I had watched, I was too inebriated to really enjoy them. So I've been kind of rediscovering some things. So I'm
You're
really
having to rewatch everything you drunk watch? That's oh my God! And you're still not drinking though, right? Okay, good.
I'm not.
You know what's? You think? And this had nothing to do with the show, but it got me thinking about beach culture and like small beach town culture and like
a lot of crime.
Well, and it seems like this is slowly fading away because of the cost of living near the beach is going up, and they're just bulldozing like all the crappy houses and building mansions. You know what I'm saying? Like so.
Yeah, they talk about that.
So it seemed, because there was a time where you could live by the beach and be poor. Like you could live walking distance to the beach and be in poverty, which
Not
seems
anymore.
yeah, it doesn't seem like now there's still areas
You're
where
poor,
you
you
can
go
do that.
to the city.
But in California, like I mean, that's got to damn near have dried up. Is like you can't live walking distance from the beach and in a house that is under 900 grand, right?
No
It's
way.
like, and so the working poor that live near the beach, I don't think exists in California as much as it did in like the 70s, obviously. And so that whole vibe of like criminal underworld or like the beach kids that just grew up on the beach and they're surfers and like that kind of thing probably doesn't exist in 2021 as much as it did, obviously. I know I'm stating the obvious,
I
but
very much dislike the. Could you stop barking, please, ChriStreama?
Charlie, shut up.
It sounded like you were barking. It was like so good of a bark.
I was
It
like,
sounded
oh,
like
she's
you said,
insane.
hold the phone, Charlie, so mommy can go pee-pee.
She already had a walk and everything. She's just being a bitch right now. I don't know
Sherry?
why.
Your dog's name is Sherry?
No, Charlie. She already had a-
Oh, Charlie. So cute. What else are you watching?
Oh, I watched this. Oh, and I was going to say one other thing that the reason I think you guys will like it is because there's extreme sports in it. And it's a little far-fetched sometimes, but they do it well. Like, for instance, there's a heist that they do, like, in an airplane. And then the way they get away is they just parachute out. And they do crazy things like that. So there's a lot of stunts and cool
I'm
stuff.
going to
like that.
bungee jump down there and steal that man's meatball sub. And he grabs it right up to the top.
Yeah. There's always
Charlie.
like in Point Break and like these kind of movies where they're doing some sort of heist and they're using like wingsuits to fly
It's
through
a
the
little
buildings. You're like,
It's always a little forced. It's like, why are you using Mini Coopers? Is it because they gave them to you, Italian job?
well, it's also like there's a less complicated thing. Even
It's the only car that'll fit in the sewers. Oh, come on.
You spent a lot of time planning what seems like the most complicated heist
But
possible.
I
like-
wanted to use my wingsuit. All right, we'll stuff it in there.
Yeah, couldn't you just make them divert the flight to like an abandoned airport? And like I don't know.
Yeah.
There's other ways, or just like not wingsuit through the city of LA.
You didn't
like
need to destroy the plane.
you could have waited till you're over the desert, or
Right.
Anyway, it's kind of. But I see what they're doing. ChriStreama, hold the phone for a second. I got a bitch about Yellowstone.
Okay. I'm
Wait a
sorry for
minute.
my dog.
I thought you liked Yellowstone. It sounds like she's going to beat her dog. Is what I.
Yeah.
No, she's just barking at me because she wants to go outdoors, so she's going to keep barking even more and be even louder.
Well, let
So-
her outside.
She's just going to bark really loud.
What, outside?
Only she barks to get outside to bark. Yeah, this is why I don't own a dog, by the way. This is horrible.
Dogs are dumb. I mean, I love them. Don't get me wrong, but they're dumb as hell. Yeah. The
They
cats will
straight up
never
don't
do
care.
this.
Yeah, ChriStreama, it's your one chance to be a radio star, and your dog's ruining it for you
Yeah.
because it's too dumb to understand to shut up while you're trying to.
Next, you'll be doing this at work.
Anyway, I'm gonna bitch about Yellowstone.
Okay,
All right.
please. Now, what makes me mad
ChriStreama.
about this is not even 4
My
days
husband
ago.
just started that.
Okay.
So please let me know.
On Saturday, Tom talked about Yellowstone. It was his favorite show. 2 days later, on Monday, he started to hate it. Now,
No, I know, it's fine.
We're 2 more days later. It's Wednesday. Now he's going full hate.
No, I don't hate it.
That's the evolution of how quickly you can hate something. On Sunday, it was your favorite show, and you said you and Crystal were very much enjoying it.
No, we still watch.
Why do you guys hate watch things? You both do that.
I
You
know,
did it with
no,
Game of
I don't
Thrones.
hate it. I don't hate
You get
it.
into Game of Thrones, you start to hate it, and you're
No,
like, we have to finish it. We're gonna hate watching this.
No, I don't hate it. I'm just complaining about certain writing aspects of the show. And me and Crystal are still watching 2 episodes a night as our new thing.
That's
and
good.
it's a good.
2 episodes a night, Yellowstone, 1 highball.
And so it's been good because finding a show that you're interested in is hard.
It's hard.
But so we're gonna see this one through.
I like it.
And it's good, and it's fine, and the acting is good, and the
Scenery's beautiful.
scenery's
Yeah.
good. It's just some of the writing is suspect because I'm like, wait a minute, you didn't even explain, like you put the noose around the guy's neck, and you like the developer, and then next thing, like he didn't tell the authorities, or like, hey, this guy's did this to me, they kidnapped me. There's, I'm not really
He was
rooting.
too afraid to do it.
Yeah, well, that's what the.
Did they do the obligatory scene where he's peeing his pants?
But just write it in there where he explains why he didn't tell the authorities or whatever. Or also, like, this guy has the power, like, he controls the cops enough to arrest this guy with no questions asked. They put him in jail. It's like, wait a minute. There's no explanation of, like, how did you
manipulate the cops?
To do that, yeah, like you just assume that, like, oh yeah, this guy controls all the cops and all the authorities. I'm like, I don't think anybody does that. And it's like, explain how you even got him. Like, it just seems like they just take too much, what is it called? Creative authority.
If I say the cop in the trailer, is that what you're talking about?
No, it's just all like it's just like they write these scenes in that is like with no explanation because it's so unrealistic. I question it. I'm like, well, that's unrealistic to how our society works and everything we know. Like, just throw in some explanation just to get me past the.
Just
wait
a quick
minute.
one.
Just something.
Yeah, just a quick one.
There's some suspect writing in there that makes me mad. I don't know if you've seen that, ChriStreama, but it's like they take too much liberties and don't explain it.
Now,
and I'm like, I don't know.
The chat room is saying this, and I believe they said this yesterday, that Yellowstone, it has 2 prequels, or a sequel and a prequel, or spinoffs that are coming out like pronto.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure. I mean, it's a super popular show.
Too much content.
So,
everything sucks. I hate it all. I'll just make my own content in my own brain.
All right, ChriStreama, what else?
I saw this other really cool movie the other day. It's on Shudder. It's called The Strings, and it's a horror movie, of course. But I think Tom would like it because throughout the movie, the main character, who's played by Tegan Johnston, who also is a musician, she's listening to some kind of book on tape or something, and it's about quantum physics. So it made me think of stuff that you used to talk about you would listen to on podcasts.
So
this chick is
this is a horror movie with a boring old man that listens to quantum physics. All right. Yeah.
So I'm guessing it's at first when you said The String, I first went to
I went right there. Yeah.
I'm like,
blah, blah, The String.
And then so I'm guessing they're talking about like string theory. And
yeah, that's what I gather. It's one of those movies, though, that's kind of like puts you in like a music video kind of trance. It's not. It has a beginning and end and all that. It's not crazy, but
a music video trance. Are you on acid? What is wrong with you,
ChriStreama? No one got that reference.
No, we all looked at each other. It's the first time I've ever seen the chat room go like, "Wow!" Like nobody knew what the hell you're talking about.
You tried to relate to everybody, like when you get into the music video trances. I'm like, no, I got nothing. I was like, is that a thing? That's not even a thing. I've never heard of that.
A music video trance.
Is that when you were watching a music video and you just so you can't do anything?
I think that only happens to stupid people. Right? Like you're watching a video.
That happens to dogs.
Yeah, like oh my God, Tom said that happens to dogs, and Charlie goes, "Oh, yes."
They just stare at the lights coming at them. They're like, "Get on the road, you idiot!"
This is like when I put Animal Planet on when I leave for my dog, so they'll stand in one place and not pee all over the house. I'm like, stay in one spot. Charlie, shut the F up.
You're getting the trance. So what the hell are you talking about, ChriStreama?
She's got full dog.
Hold on, are you a substitute teacher?
It's like a music video. It looks like and feels like kind of a music video sometimes because the premise is this woman is going to this up north cabin in the snow and she's going to write some music, but her music is written on it's like the techno music with that sounded really old lady, the techno music, but it's kind of like, my husband described the music as dirty techno lounge music, kind of like the Chromatic.
He was just horny. He's like, "Oh, it's dirty techno lounge music." Speaking of which, let's go to the bedroom, ChriStreama.
Do you need to go?
Charlie with the bam.
Do you need to get out into the mountains like The
sorry.
Shining to write your masterpiece if it's dirty techno?
How are you supposed to get killed, right? I had a friend that hit me up. A friend that we all know here, who said, "Yeah, I've got some friends coming into town. They're staying at my place. They're writing some music." That's like a thing. So people go to other people's houses and they're just, I'm going to chill out and this is maybe I'll be inspired here.
Yeah,
we don't do that because we don't believe in any of that. We don't believe in being inspired. We don't believe in mentors.
I get it when
all that stuff's garbage. It's either in you or not in you.
You're writing a book or something like, for techno, it just doesn't seem like you need to open your mind.
I'm in a cabin. I'm looking around. I'm like, Wait a minute. There it is. I think I got it.
ChriStreama, let's talk about being a substitute teacher. So,
Okay.
That sounds like a hard job.
I was going exact opposite.
Really?
Yeah, because
the kids are going to treat you like crap.
no, but you just call security or you send them to the
Security? You got a security there?
No, if some kid
She's got to bring her own taser and gun.
No, if some kid is being a real a-hole,
They're beyond that now. What if the kid has a trench coat on?
No,
it's like getting on an airplane and then you see a guy who's adjusting his dynamite.
That's rare. I'm saying it seems like you get a call, you're like, Miss Smith is out tomorrow. Can you watch her algebra class? And you're like, okay. You show up to the front office.
Implement the lesson. You can't just watch it. It's just not.
No,
it's not just babysitting.
She leaves. There's a folder in every classroom.
She leaves the curriculum. She leaves
the
you
don't
daily
have to teach
lesson.
it.
Yeah.
You just hand out a worksheet. She leaves a worksheet just in case she's sick, and then you go there and basically hand the worksheet out, and you just sit there and babysit.
Do you write your name on the board?
I do write my name on the board. I will say my first day, though, at the middle school, an 8th grader told me I was the chillest substitute that they've ever had.
You're the chillest substitute we got to have. And you got nice titties.
Come on.
Oh, my word.
So,
but, yeah, you're kind of both right because some of the teachers, like yesterday I taught social studies and it was the 3 branches of government, so I had to help them study for a test for that. So that was fun. If they act up and act crazy, it looks kind of bad on you if you send kids to the office all the time. So you really don't want to do that. You want to try to handle it yourself, which is very tricky. I don't know if you ever had an argument with a 13-year-old, but it's not.
I have.
Every night.
I have. I don't want to tell you where I was.
I get on Xbox for chat, and then I just argue crazy. I say the N-word.
You should not say the N-word first thing.
So, ChriStreama, like, is it?
Do you know the 3 branches of government?
What are the
no, don't help him.
The executive branch, legislative, and judicial.
I'll count it.
Damn!
It's Christmas.
It's
Christmas.
Why?
It's Christmas.
Stupid idiot!
You got it right. You just. I don't think I can say it. Ready? Hold on. Judicial.
All right.
Judicial.
Oh, yeah. Of course you can. You're not a R word.
No,
like
I am. I still am. Legislative.
Christmas R word.
Though, the teacher had on there, it was like a chart you had to fill out for each branch and the different things about it. And there was one that I was confused about. Did you guys know what the requirements are to be a Supreme Court judge? What are the requirements?
Be white. I know that. And old and white.
I think you need to like beer. You need to like beer. You need to still like beer, but you need to not like it to the point of getting blackout drunk. That one I know.
The teacher said there are no requirements.
There's no requirements?
Yes.
There's some requirements.
So Pauly Shore can be a Supreme.
Yeah, Pauly Shore cannot.
We're all in trouble if that happens.
Well, do you have to be born in the United States?
No, it says none of that.
Well, I mean, like, this isn't vetted, but you need to look this up. You can't just take the teacher's word for it.
Are you making
it's not my class, so, I'm only invested in them for 2 days.
I would imagine that you would need to be a lawyer in order to be a Supreme Court judge because most judges, wait for it, have been lawyers and know the law. And now I don't know a lot about it, but that's just my small grasp.
Yeah, I thought that was odd. I didn't really think it was correct, but I did explain to him that the president appoints them and all that.
You know what you should have said? You should have said, I believe your teacher's wrong, and when she gets back, you need to tell her she's wrong.
ChriStreama.
And that's coming from Mrs. Streama.
What age, what grade in middle school do you sub for?
Usually 8th grade or at the high school, which is right near my house. So I could, walk there.
Oh, it's rough.
But I will tell you.
If you were my substitute teacher, hold on, I need to say this. If you were my substitute teacher and I saw you walking home, I would throw food at you.
Oh, no.
I would. I'm just telling you the truth. If you were my substitute teacher and I were leaving high school and I got in my 82 Rabbit convertible and I were driving away, I would throw a jumbo, a Wendy's this is back when they had the yellow cup. I'd throw a Wendy's yellow cup biggie size pink lemonade at your head.
And then you feel bad later. about
No,
it.
he won't feel
no,
bad.
I would.
He'll
I would-
laugh and
I would
laugh
laugh
with
and
his
laugh.
friends.
Actually, if it were right now, I'd TikTok that. F.
yeah. You'd be famous.
Yeah, I'd be famous. I'd be the most famous at DeLand High.
So, ChriStreama, is everybody at 8th grade, especially in high school, I imagine everybody just on their phones, right? Just looking on their phones. There's nothing you could do to stop it?
They do have rules. Some schools have it down pretty good where they just aren't allowed. They have their phones with them, but they don't use them. But yeah, they're out. I've had to go up to kids and say, "Hey, put your phone away. We're on the." They all have tablets now. There's like hardly any pencil, pen, paper. It's all on their tablets. So you do have to. They have multiple teachers in rooms if they can, because you have to walk behind them. But one of the things that made it really hard is because these kids that are in that like 13, 14-year-old range that are very immature because they weren't in school for almost a year, it's a nightmare. It's like they were stunted in their development. They act way younger than they should. And I've worked with kids that age group before, and it's really crazy. If you ask any teacher, they'll tell you the school being closed is like cause these kids to regress.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I never thought about just the maturity of going there daily for a year and that pushing back up an entire year. That's interesting.
Well, think about like there are worse times than for other people as far as when Corona hit. Like, imagine if you were a high school senior in your class and you were into school and you were into all like you were the head cheerleader or the high school quarterback and then like prom and all those things that like you were going to do their senior year, and then Corona hits, no school, and then now you're just, 2 years later, you're in community college.
Who's the nerd now?
And you're going to 6th grade, and that's like a huge stepping stone from being in elementary school
It is
to
a
6th grade.
big difference.
And then
I think it's the biggest difference, actually, that shift from elementary to middle,
Yeah,
whatever that is.
Then middle to high.
Middle to high is, pretty similar.
It's closer to high school than elementary school is to middle school.
And middle school is just a hellhole.
And so you miss that 6th grade that you need so much to adjust, and then all of a sudden you just get advanced to 7th grade, and then all of a sudden you're in person, and like you still have a elementary school mentality.
It happened to me.
The last school you went to.
That happened to me. I went from 3rd grade to 9th grade because of how amazingly intelligent I am. And it was very hard for me to be like all the other kids. It is so difficult,
Max has never been to a public school without a mask, because he started his kindergarten experience during Corona. And so like now he's in 1st grade. So it's like he's never even experienced elementary school maskless.
Yeah, Macy wears it. Well, it's no problem for them though,
I do scrub, but I see other people now, like in Castleberry, is like more than half the teachers aren't wearing masks. There's no, and I'm like, no mask, you can wear it. They're like, no, we'll wear it. I'm like, oh, you pussy.
Yeah, well, May will offer. Yeah, like May will say that. She'll be like, no, you're good. It's fine. You can say that. That's allowed. Anything else you're watching, ChriStreama, before we get out of here?
That was pretty much it. That's all. I know this is going to air after, but I hope you guys have a wonderful time off. And
hey, we hope you do too. What do you and your husband want for Christmas?
I need some more winter clothes. That's what I want.
Okay, what does he want? Does he want like a new guitar or like an Xbox Series X or something cool?
No, he doesn't ask for very much. I did get him something, but he's going to listen to this, so I can't say what it is. But I got him just normal stuff, and then I got him one surprise.
Penis pump.
Kind of left field. He won't know what it is.
Butt plug.
I think if my wife did a radio bit, I wouldn't listen. There's no way. I would
listen to it.
You would?
I'd be like, I could do that better than you. let them
I like that.
Give me a swing at it. You sing the stupid song, and I'll get on there. And I'm not going to watch old stuff. I'm going to watch new stuff. Watch that Squid Game. I watched it. Pretty good.
I never watched, but I'll try to find some newer stuff.
No, you're fine.
What are you guys doing for New Year's Eve?
You want to come to Tom's house and swing?
I'm going to be in Florida on the 7th.
All right. We'll shave up. Let's do it.
Hold on. Where do you live? I thought you lived in Florida.
No, I grew up in Florida. I was born in Hollywood, Florida. I lived there for 29 years in Florida and then moved to Oklahoma, California, back to Oklahoma, and now Illinois.
That's one of the most disappointing pauses, too, when people say, I grew up in Hollywood. Florida.
yeah.
Right?
Hollywood, Florida is not glamorous.
When she said it, she goes, I grew up in Hollywood, Florida.
It is just a regular, smallish.
It's like a flea market
It's like
with roads.
it's like a little bit fancier Sanford. Like I don't know how to describe it. I mean, like except for Sanford has had cooler places. And like I'm just talking about a regular.
Would you think Sanford's going to be upset with you now?
3-2 everywhere. You know, I don't know. There's a casino.
Well, we hope you have a wonderful New Year's and a wonderful Christmas and holiday, and we can't wait to talk to you after when we get into 2022. Okay.
All right, you guys too. Love ya.
Love you
see
too.
ya.
Give Charlie the dog some love from us. Who is I'm dog crazy. I can't even get mad. I want a puppy, man. Jimmy
Another one?
Colbert, he got 2 puppies, I think. Unless that was just like you know, sometimes people it's not their puppies and they just post the video to get you like talking about it. But, but I know his wife likes puppies.
Yeah.
Did you see them? They're
No.
they're like this big. 2 of them. They match. They're like little
Are they
tiny
pit bulls?
I don't know what they are. They look like just little puppies. I don't know if they're Dachshunds.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing to me
There's
because
turd flies in here.
yeah.
And there's nobody here today to get rid of them, and so I'm just gonna let them take over.
yeah. With the mung started creeping back.
Yeah.
Like once we got off the schedule of filling the
Well, the
tank.
people upstairs are like now it's less than a drip.
Oh,
now it's just straight pouring water down the wall.
Yeah. In between both walls, we should talk about that. Like we
We got enough time. Hit it.
keep telling the landlord like it's dripping in between the walls, and I'll take a video of it just because you can't see it. There's no water damage, but we hear
That's pretty good, man. Oh my god, like Michael Winslow over here. That was like I don't know if it like
I'm better than Winslow.
That was good. That should be your autobiography. The man who just figured out he could do like sound effects better than Winslow. The Tom Van story. You thought mouth sound effects in Police Academy in the 80s were great. Wait till you hear this new guy 50 years later. He's phenomenal. Do your drip behind the wall. Do the drip behind the wall.
So I take a video of it and I send it to the landlord, and somehow he's always outside his car because he burst through.
Well, he's
here.
always watching us.
Yeah, he's burst through here like minutes.
What?
Yeah, and then he stands up on our desk chairs, which is
no, he stands on my desk with his bare feet where I eat my
which
sandwiches.
is a power move, by the way.
I like it. I
Which,
support it. I wish I could do it.
I laugh every time he takes off his super expensive loafers and stands on
If
Dana's
I
desk.
own anything, if I owed something of money, I'd stand on it too if I could.
And he goes up there and he's looking, and I'm like, well, you can't see anything. You just hear it. Or like it's dripping me. And
But
then
he's trying to look through the drywall. He's looking hard.
and he lifts up the drop ceiling and he's like, I don't see anything. I'm like, yeah, no, it's between there. So I think it's just falling on the ground or something. I have no idea. And then he leaves like frustrated, and then we never hear from him again. But that's happened twice, and it's still dripping. So do we just ignore it? But it's got to be building up some mildew behind there, right?
It probably dries out super fast. I don't know.
It's just like it's between
Should
the walls.
we cut a tiny hole under my desk that he can't see? Hold on,
Or
follow me with
stick
it.
your head in there,
And
like
stick my head in there.
Shawshank?
Yeah, like
into the doo-doo pipe.
I would cut. I got a drywall saw in there because at one time, before we knew what we could or couldn't do in here, I was going to cut a hole right behind this computer so you and I could stick our heads through.
Oh yeah.
Well, that was for sharing kratom,
But I think if you cut a hole in there, like you're gonna release the mildew monster.
Oh, right now it's okay.
Yeah, because it's sealed in between the walls.
But how are we going to know if it's wet? I was going to cut it low so he can't see it. Maybe just reach my hand in there and kind of feel around. I don't want to put my face in there and then get the black mold right in my nose. If I put my hand in there.
Yeah, but if we open up a hole, all the black mold spores will come whooshing out.
I don't know anything about the spores. If I can't see it, it's not real.
But is there any danger of it just being mold crazy between the walls?
There is that danger. I'm also worried about it collapsing. Like the whole ceiling, like this is all our gear. Well, I don't want to lose our gear.
Would the ceiling collapse? No, right?
Well, it sounds as if it's the same problem we had before. So follow me with this logic.
Yeah.
There is a leak on that tub because the way that it was explained to me when we first had this problem a year ago was that they were overflowing the bathtub because it was, or like the kids were overflowing the bathtub.
Yeah, and water was spilling out and then basically dripping finding its way between the walls and dripping.
Right, but I don't think that's happening now because we've told them, hey, don't overflow the bathtub. You know, it's kind of not smart to do that. Maybe keep an eye on your kids.
But there's a language barrier that I
not with this lady. It's that lady. It's always like, did you take my packages? Is that lady?
Yeah. But she's, I mean...
there's no language barrier there.
No? I thought she was broken English, like, I thought she was a Korean or
she's
Chinese.
She's kind of mean, but...
Okay. I thought that there was like a language barrier, but no.
I don't know. You might be right. But anyway, so I believe that now I believe the thing's leaking, and every time they use the shower, it's leaking. That's what I think the problem is.
So that it's coming from the pipes.
I don't think it's possible to have your children overflow the bathtub or
at that
or
frequency
toilet every day.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to use my brain, and I don't think it's possible for you to have that happen every day.
Yeah, and
it would ruin your house. Like, it would ruin the tile. You'd ruin your towels. You'd have to be soaking up water all the time.
That's like a every once in a while mistake. Like, it can't be every single time. Like, you would tell your kids.
That's a once a year Jim Carrey, Mr. Popper's Penguins scenario. It never happens.
So I don't know. I mean, I'll send him another video, but I think he'll just do the same thing. At what point do I say, like, something has to be done about this? I don't know. Like, I'll never say that.
Well, that's not your style. You need to say it a different way. You got to figure out the way to say it. You got to say it like, can anything be done about this?
Okay, yeah.
Ask it. Don't say something needs to be done. Don't put your foot down.
And then what if he's like, yeah, I'm gonna, and then he leaves like every other time, and
you
then
just got to keep the same message.
So same over and over.
Yeah.
Until when though? At one point, do I be like this? Enough is enough. Do I scream enough is enough?
No, I would cut the drywall hole first.
Oh, okay, and then see. But what if
because we can't lose the lease?
What if we? No. I would I just scream enough is enough. It doesn't mean anything. That's all. It's a hollow threat.
Well, you can yell enough is enough to him, and he can just be like, yes, it is. You know, like, he can agree. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
I honestly,
I kind of want to just ignore it. That's my way.
Okay, we can ignore it. I mean, look, I'm in this room mostly, so that room. If that room falls apart, I guess I'll just pull the door.
If it does collapse the ceiling, that's gonna be.
Do we have insurance?
No.
No, wow, that was a serious no.
Yeah. We did at one point.
Wait a minute, you just said yeah.
What do you mean?
I said, do we have insurance? And you said, no. Yeah. So I don't know what that means. You gave me the no. Yeah. You're sending me mixed signals, man.
Well, I keep you confused at all times. It's like when you capture someone, you always keep them disoriented so they can't escape.
So I've been captured? Is that what this whole business relationship is?
Yeah. Well, it relies on you staying here.
Oh, my God. We got time for one voicemail.
Yeah.
Let's do one. Let's make this the best one. One really good, and I got a good one I put in here. We had a gentleman call in who was a Jehovah's Witness. Okay. He was raised that way.
Okay, so I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness. I am no longer practicing. I don't practice any religion. I don't believe any of it. But I can answer lots of questions if you wanted me to. The 144,000 are the chosen that are just going to heaven, correct? Throughout all of history, those are the only 144,000 that will be in heaven. And once they're in heaven, that's supposedly, I think, when the Armageddon starts. But everybody else, the Jehovah's Witnesses that are in existence now, they want to live in a paradise on earth, which is what they're, scoping for. Some people do get into heaven, yes, but my mom, she still says, oh, well, I want to stay here on earth and live forever. And I'm like, yeah, Mom, okay. But yeah, that's how that goes. And I can answer some other questions if you guys wanted to call me back. BDM for life. I'm not going to curse. Bye.
Thank you, Jehovah's Witness that isn't no longer practicing man. And
we will interview you because
I want to know about I didn't know. I've never heard of the Earth Paradise.
Because isn't that like it's like the people that believe the world's going to end and then they're like this date, and then when the date passes, do they just change it? Like, so all the Jehovah's Witnesses that and your friends and family, if you're in that religion, once they die, do you assume they went to heaven or like
yes.
Or are they in a parallel universe and another Earth and they just live out their days?
No, I think the paradise is on this Earth, and I think the heaven thing is predetermined, and you are to assume that they did go to heaven.
But out of 144,000, if you look at, I'm guessing the numbers of Jehovah's Witnesses have been millions over the start.
No, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, so it's like they can't all go to heaven, and if they're not all eternal life on earth, then we're having a math problem here.
He changed his mind. We had an opening.
Yeah. So it's like, does your mom believe that she's never going to die then? And if she does die, that means she went to heaven? But then she knows that other Jehovah's Witnesses have died, and they can't all go to heaven.
This is what we need to
talk
about.
So, like, where is the point where you're like, wait a minute, every Jehovah's Witness ever has eventually died, just like every human does.
And then they get the choice. You can either go to on the earth, parallel universe heaven, or you can go to real 144.
Oh, okay. So there is a parallel universe.
I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know. Yeah. Well,
Interesting.
sir, shoot us an email and throw your number in there so we can get back at you because I don't have it. You really just left us a voicemail message. But, yes, we would love to talk to you. See, my mom, what was interesting about what she believed and where it makes more sense to me was she didn't necessarily believe in hell as a lava's land with a devil man in it. It was more her hell is the absence of God.
Yeah.
So hell to her is no God in her life or no God guiding her or no her living her life the way that she thought Jesus would want you to live. Her hell is not having any of that.
Yeah.
And that's what she and see to me. I'm like, yeah, all right, I get that. It's more of a practice to you. It's how you.
Yes, yeah. It's a practice.
Yeah,
of
it's like
discipline.
at that point, it's martial arts.
Yes,
you know?
it's discipline.
Yeah,
and that's how I describe.
I get it.
I finally understood. We made fun of. We make fun of religion a lot.
We make fun of everything.
But of the the hardcore practices of some Jewish people of like not touching any electronics on a Saturday, and then the whole string around the city, and like the Sabbath, and all these different practices, not showing your hair, and like the more discipline you get, the more like into the religion you get. But once I understood it, it's like, oh, it's a practice of discipline. Like, can I live my life like this? Not necessarily you're tricking the what you think is God or like that, like, because if you look at it that way, you're like, well, how do you think you're tricking God by like having an oven that turns on Saturday instead of you touching it? Like, that's kind of ridiculous. But then it's like, oh, well, if you're just disciplined enough to do these things, it's like you get some strength from that.
Correct.
Just like martial arts or any discipline.
Right.
It's like, can I work out every day?
There are benefits from it.
Can I eat this every day? Or can I, go to sleep at this time? Like, whatever you do that benefits your life and you keep doing that shows some discipline and, some restraint and, also like, hey, you're not choosing the best thing, the most, delicious choice or like what you really want to do. You're doing this because that's what you set out to do. Then I understood it. I was like, oh, okay, I got it.
God's memory is where they end up.
What? That's the
people are confirming. They're a decent amount of people know about Jehovah's Witness in our Twitch chat room, twitch.tv/TomAndDanLive, and they're saying, I'll just read BDMX Con. He's always fun. He says, world religions in college. Had a girlfriend that was a witness, taught me a bit. She had to break up with me when her family threatened to excommunicate her. Their belief was that 144,000 are already full. Everyone else goes to an earth-like paradise for eternity once the rapture happens.
Gotcha.
And then the Dana says, no, they are in God's memory. His mom believes that they're in God's memory until the end. Then they are resurrected.
Okay, so they're going to a heaven-like experience no matter what, as long as
that sounds like you moved the goalpost, though, a little bit, right? If the 144 got full and you're like, yeah, but you can go to phase 2 of our expansion.
Well,
over here to.
I would ask how fast did it get full? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, can you just open it unlimited? It's heaven, right? Like, why is it 144? Just open it unlimited.
Did it get full in like the 40s?
How come nobody's asking
or in the 90s?
Question?
Like, when did it hit the cap?
Yeah, and how come you're still there? How come you're not questioning the hell out of this? And who was on the bubble? What if you were on the bubble and then they're like, and you're all ready to go, and then they're like, I'm so sorry, we're full, and you're like, well, when did this happen?
Yeah, and I'll be like, it's full already? Like, what about all the good people that after it got full, like that did more than the people that got in already? It's kind of like the NFL Hall of Fame. Like you're like, this guy made it, and this one didn't. Like once someone surpasses what
Some
someone
people are in it twice. I don't think you should be in for Foo Fighters and as Dave Grohl or as Foo Fighters and Nirvana. You're in once.
like say you got into heaven because you were the best. What the hell is the religion called again?
Praying. Jehovah.
Jehovah's Witness.
You're the best Jehovah.
And you spread the word to hundreds of people, right? At
You're
the time.
the best Jehovah.
But then another guy, and you got in, and now you're in. You're like, yes, I'm in. And then some guy, and then it's full already, but some guy spread the word to.
I got my mom to sign out, and then he's in. Wait a minute.
Well, 10,000 more people than the other guy you already let in. Like he's better. You gotta get one
kick
out.
him down to the paradise.
Yeah,
It's not that bad.
Yeah.
Sir, you got to move your stuff out of permanent heaven. You got to go to the paradise that's on the earth too.
Some people should be relegated down,
just like
soccer.
Yeah,
just like the EPL.
I kind of like that.
Yeah. It's got to be like everybody can
you
be
come
relegated.
back though? If I get relegated down to earth paradise, can I work hard on earth paradise to go back to 144 eternal heaven?
Because now you're in.
Because that's what you would do in like Premier League.
That's true, but now you're not in regular Earth, so you're not really spreading. You're spreading the religion to everybody in Earth Paradise that already is a Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah, they already know it. It's not a target-rich environment.
Yeah. You'd have to go back to regular.
Oh, what a
Earth.
horrible place to teach religion. I mean, all you guys know it. Is anybody here not heard the good word?
Like what?
And everybody's like, yeah, we know. We're already here down to Earth Paradise. We're trying to get up there too. There's nobody here.
Everybody knows already.
I'm gonna Zoom call some people.
All right. How much time are we?
Oh,
bye.